Welcome to the channel of PACIFIC414. Show us this loyalty. Throw yourself onto the subscribe button and submit yourself to the live streams, gaming streams, and so much more. Pathetic earthlings, I command you.
Warning, due to adult language and humor, the following content may not be suitable for any viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following live stream or video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Good evening and welcome one and all to this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. I am your host, Mike. Tonight we have a Star Wars related discussion going on for this particular episode of Pop Talk. And the reason why is because I have an article from Cosmic Book News that says Boba Fett, Tamara Morrison jokes about by Disney and the Mandalorian treatment. Also from Bounty in the Comics, they're speculating on a rumor that's been going around lately about Lucasfilm claims Luke Skywalker is not a significant part of the matrix of new content going forward. And of course, speaking of Lucasfilm, we also have news concerning Indiana Jones 5 and Harrison Ford making some comments about the 5th edition to the franchise. I also have a story from comicbook.com that's talking about the new Super Mario Brothers movie has a different script in Japan. And the other story I have for tonight is from Superhero Hype, and it's talking about Beetle Juice 2 is officially moving forward at Warner Brothers. So let's go ahead and say hello to anyone who is in the chat at the moment. And so far, the only one that is here is Brandon, Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Welcome, Brandon. So we are going to go ahead and start off tonight's edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, discussing Beetle Juice 2 officially moving forward. So let me go ahead and get that on the screen here, and I will go ahead and post. Sorry for coughing. It's been happening a lot lately. But let's go ahead and get the link out there into the chat so you can follow along if you wish to follow along. And as far as Cash and Baron are concerned, well, Baron's in the middle of a move and Cash should be here momentarily to join us. And we may possibly have Anonymous here as well. And of course, I see Phil, and Phil saying, your like has been smashed. Thank you, brother. And I'll definitely send you an invitation for next week's Pop Talk, since this Sunday we'll be talking about the 30th anniversary of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Power Rangers franchise in general. But I also want to say hello to Kitty Bear, who says Star Wars ain't dead. It's just everyone is having Disney BS series and movie BS fatigue. He goes on to say the only thing entertaining from Disney is the dumpster fire they keep fueling with more stupidity. That's true. That is very true. So let's go ahead and get into this first article here from Superhero Hype, which was posted just yesterday. It's by Jake Abbott. And it says, it is a very good day to be a Michael. Let me start that over again. Blooper. It is a very good day to be Michael Keaton. Hype surrounding his return as Bruce Wayne Batman reached its zenith earlier this afternoon when Warner Brothers debuted the new trailer for The Flash at Cinecon. But the studio's presentation yielded an encouraging update concerning the revival of another Keaton Tim Burton collaboration as well. Via IGN, WB opened its panel at this year's event with a sizzle reel showcasing the names of upcoming film projects. The list notably included Beetle Juice 2, which essentially confirms that a sequel to Burton's horror comedy classic is finally happening. A Beetlejuice sequel has been in development hell since the original film bowed in 1988. Keaton headlined the movie as its title character, an undead bioexorcist hired by a recently deceased couple to scare away the new residents of their former home. In its earliest incarnations, the follow up was titled Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, which would have moved the setting to the Aloha State. WB brought multiple writers on board to pen the script, including Jonathan Gems, Mars Attacks, Daniel Waters, Heathers, and Pamela Norris, Saturday Night Live. However, this version of the project seemed to fall apart by the late 90s. And let me get another swig of water here. Went down the wrong pipe. All right, so the article goes on to say years later in 2011, Seth Graham-Smith, sorry, was hired to write his own script for another Beetlejuice installment. And we also have Mike Vukadinovich, I probably mispronounced that, eventually signed on to rewrite his draft in 2017. 2 years later, the film was reported to have been shelved, but the sequel appeared to gain new momentum last month when Jenna Ortega was said to be in talks to star as the daughter of Winona Ryder's Lydia Dietz from the original film. As far as we know, Burton and Keaton have yet to finalize their deals to return as director and star, respectively. It's also unclear who wrote the latest draft of the script or if there's even a script at all. Regardless, this is our best indication yet that WB is serious about resurrecting the Beetlejuice franchise on the big screen. And assuming the rumors are true, production could start as early as this summer. Are you happy to hear that Beetlejuice 2 is officially back on? Well, I'm going to find out from the chat. And of course, I'm also going to find out from this gentleman right here. All right, where's his clip? You've heard me say this before, but I've got too many clips here. Ah, here it is.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, my guidance counselor says that certain words perpetuate this sexist worldview that could trigger.
Quiet! From now on, you won't listen to your guidance counselor. You're going to listen to me. Is that understood?
Yes, Sensei.
No sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cash Money 007. Although the roles should be reversed after this season series concluded on Sunday, it should be me in the role of Miguel and Cash in the role of Johnny. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yes, Beetlejuice 2. Why? Beetlejuice 1 was fine. Then we need a sequel. What are they going to do? I have to. I don't know.
Maybe Lydia's gonna die in this next one.
I just After all these years, they want to do a sequel. Yes, Maverick turned out well for Top Gun, fine, but that's a rarity situation. Eh, eh. This is another situation. Why do we need this?
Very true.
Um, I don't understand why we need a musical of the Joker. This stuff is weird to me, and I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this. If they get some of the stars back, I guess, but what are they going to do? What is the point?
There's no point
You
because,
find out
as far as I'm concerned, the first one wrapped up very nicely.
I don't know, Gab. I'm not sure about that. But I don't get this. Why after all these years? Why do we need this? I don't. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Yeah,
I
I
really
have a
don't.
bad feeling about this too, Pit Viper. I just why do we need this? It's like we can go down the line of so many sequels. There's been more than a handful, I would say, that made it, but just after all these years, we're gonna have a Beetle Juice 2. But what are they gonna do with it? I don't even remember how the first one ended. It's been so long since I've
Eh,
watched it.
all right. So the first one ended with Beetlejuice in that one room where they are assigned their roles, and there's a head shrinker there sitting next to Beetlejuice, and there's someone else sitting next to Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice is talking his ear off. The head shrinker sprinkles some magic dust over Beetlejuice's head, and Beetlejuice's head begins to shrink.
Okay. But what is the chances that this will actually be good, Kitty Bear? I agree with you. Like, if they're gonna follow what they did before, it could work. But after all these years, a sequel to Beetlejuice, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
But I do want to take the time to say hello to everybody who is here at the moment. I want to say hello to Kitty Bear. And of course, Bill McCracken is here. Gap After Dark. His name is finally back. He is no longer cursed with J.J. Abrams.
He's not Jar Jar Abrams anymore. It's amazing.
No. And of course, we have Pit Viper. And I'm going to play this next clip just for you, Decepticons. Just for you, my friend. Here we go.
Extinction to all traitors!
We have Decepticons Cave of Comics and Toys. Welcome.
Hello.
And we also have the Padawannabe, who says, "My first thought." Oh, sorry, I keep coughing. Let me just take another swig of water. All right. So the Padawannabe says, "My first thought would be the evil genie idea. Someone gets a hold of Beetlejuice for really bad things. Maybe I don't know. I mean, where where do you go with Beetlejuice's story at this point? Since the first one ended the way it did, like I said, to me it ended perfectly. It doesn't need a sequel. I really don't
Yep.
know. And of course, Gap is saying hello to everybody. And Gap is saying, "Is Michael Keaton getting too old to be Beetlejuice?" Just asking. You're not the only one asking that question, Gap. I think we all could ask that question. Is he too old to play Beetlejuice? 30 years ago would have been perfect. But now, I don't know. I mean, we obviously know he's not doing his own stunts in the Flash. That's obvious.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And Gap says, "I'm JJ free." And the Padawannabe is saying, "If they have Michael Keaton, I'm giving it a watch." I can see where you're coming from, Padawannabe. Michael Keaton is still a quality actor even today, but Beetlejuice was also a very physical role. And I don't know what kind of shape he's in, so I don't know if he can necessarily pull it off like he did back in '87 when they were filming the movie. And of course, Decepticons Cave of Villains says nice about that clip. And he says it's dab time. So yeah, I just don't know if this would work, Cash.
I don't know. I just wish people would just leave stuff alone and try to come up with something else that original. I mean, I feel Dungeons and Dragons was a problem, but it's just I'm hoping in the future somebody's going to do it right, and there's going to be less jokes, and it's going to be more fun and whatever. I don't know, but I do give Hollywood credit, the film industry, whatever credit that they tried something. So, but with this and a lot of these other sequels, I mean, remember when they even did a remake of Footloose? Like this stuff is crazy to me. What the Hollywood should do is just say, go watch the old movie. That's what they
And
should do. Come
and
up with
Pit
some
Piper,
new ideas.
I understand with heavy makeup you won't be able to tell his age, but I'm talking about doing the physicality of the character. Because like I said, the character was very physical. He was very physical in his movement, in his mannerisms, and Michael Keaton, he's not a spring chicken anymore. I know I'm not. I certainly can't pull off the moves I was able to pull off when I was 20. And let's see. Gap says, I'm all about Michael Keaton. I can't wait to get my McFarlane Batman. Michael Keaton, a mask figure tomorrow. Yeah, and I get that too. It's that nostalgia with Michael Keaton, and he's still a fan favorite among many who have watched his movies. Let's face it. And for some of us, and this is because you're getting the Michael Keaton Batman figure, Gap, some of us, he'll always be their movie Batman.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Classic, man. That is absolute classic. Well, they already did a Beetlejuice musical. They did, and I don't know how successful it was. I don't really pay attention to that spectrum of entertainment.
They did Spider-Man musical too.
Yep. They could do a Streets of Rage movie. Well, you know what? Cash and I should be their consultants. Okay, you have to have a point where they get their asses kicked, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. Hey, we're past the 15-minute mark, so we can start swearing.
All right.
YouTube and your rules.
Yep.
Okay. Kitty Bear is saying there are places to go with it, but it depends on the damn writers if it's good or not. Goes on to say Tom from Midnight's Edge had a couple of fun ideas. Yeah. If you go with some fun ideas, because let's face it, Beetlejuice isn't supposed to be serious. It's supposed to be a fun horror comedy. That's what the original was. It didn't take itself seriously. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, Chris Farley style movements is exactly the kind of movements that Beetlejuice had to do. You're exactly right, Decepticon. Ha ha ha! My sprain has sprung. Oh, it sprung a long time ago. Hate to say it, but it has. I know that there are stunt doubles, Pit Viper, but as far as Michael Keaton doing the movements that he would have to do. All right, let's see. Padawannabe is saying, hey, the South Park guys did a musical ripping on Mormons and they cleaned up. It's weird. Yeah, it is. It is. It worked. And let's see, Soul Calibur movie. Yeah, why not? Are you going to have an appearance by Darth Vader? So I believe he was in Soul Calibur 6, 5 or 6. And Gap is saying, we really need some great comedies. I haven't seen those either, so that would need to be in Beetlejuice. Yeah, but how far would they be willing to take it?
Yeah,
Especially with
wouldn't this Beetlejuice 2 be potentially politically correct? I don't think the original was, really.
no,
I don't know.
it had a
Would
morbid sense of
they
humor.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not trying to douse anyone's excitement for the possibility of Beetlejuice 2. I just don't know how in current times how this would work. I really don't.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they will be able to pull it off. Maybe the trailer won't be the only thing that's exciting about the movie once the trailer is released. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I'm not an insider, and none of us here
Yeah.
on Pop Talk are insiders. We're just fans
Nope. Yep.
asking questions when it comes to the news and when it comes to the rumors, whether the news is true, whether the rumors are true, as far as these movies or games or whatever it is we're talking about is true.
Yep.
And Decepticons Cave of Comics and Toys says, I remember seeing the '89 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. Jack will always be my Joker, but my Batman is Christian Bale. Understandable. A lot of people like Christian Bale as Batman.
Yep.
My
Me
sister likes
too.
Val Kilmer as Batman.
He wasn't bad.
No. Although I haven't met too many people who like George Clooney as Batman. And if you're out there,
No,
cool.
yeah. That's a tough take.
Yeah, yeah, that is a tough take. So I'm going to say on a scale of 1 to 10, if this movie does indeed move forward, like Warner Brothers has officially announced, and it goes into production, and then we get a release date, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you want to go see it? 1 being the least likely and 10 being the most likely.
I don't know. I'll wait for a trailer.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and create a poll and just just to, gauge the audience. All right. 1 second. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Making a poll, making a poll, making a poll. Actually, I can't do it that way. Oh, crap. Well, that sucks. Here, would you go see Beetle Juice 2 once it has been released? And this could be a simple yes or no question type of poll. Nothing too complicated. We got it ready. And released. Question mark. All right. There you are. There's the poll, and then I'll start looking. Let's see. Let's see. Decepticon says negative 83. Gap is laughing at the negative 83. And the Padawannabe says, we can all safely agree that Clooney was the best Batman with nibbles. Well, I mean, I don't know who was worse than Batman and Robin, Clooney or Arnold. Everybody, chill.
Yeah.
Well, see, Gab, YouTube only gives you so many options when you're setting up a poll. So I've got to work with what I'm given. Kitty Bear says I won't be paying for it. And that's understandable too with the way things are now. And let me see. And let's see. Of course, make sure you do that if you're enjoying the stream. And let's see. Kitty Bear says no matter how good a trailer looks, if the movie sucks, I will be so pissed if I wasted my money. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of us would feel that way, and a lot of us have felt that way recently. 5 hours later, the poll's up. No gap. It's not 5 hours later. Jeez, man, come on.
3 hours later.
There. Gotta set you straight, Gap. Former J.J. Abrams. And low spec Linux laptop. Welcome, brother. Go ahead and start you. So I remembered to highlight you near the end of the show. And of course, Gab is saying hello, Stream Elements. Gabs hates all my Stream Elements bots. But yeah, as far as Beetle Juice 2, I don't know, folks. And Pit Viper says undecided. And that's understandable too. You have to see something first before you can actually decide whether you're going to go see it. But, hypothetically speaking, would you go see it? Yes or no? I can go ahead and look at some of the results right now, but I'm not going to finalize the poll. And right now, 67% of you are saying you wouldn't go see it, but we'll wait and see at the end of the program what the final results are. And let me go ahead and close an extra window that I have open. There we go. All right, so Cash, we are going to go ahead and move on to our next story here. And that next story is about Super Mario. So let me go ahead and put that link into the chat. And let's go ahead and share the screen. And here we go. Comicbook.com has this article here that was posted just yesterday by Kay Vonder. And it says the Super Mario Brothers movie has a different script in Japan. Of course, before we continue on, and Cash is back, I do want to say hello to Real Wade Gaming Clips. Welcome, Wade. Good to see you, brother. All right, so this article says the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is a great movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go see it. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. As a matter of fact, before we get into this article, someone here on the panel just recently saw the movie, and would you like to tell us your thoughts on it, Cash?
It's awful. I'm just kidding. It was really good. Okay, so a lot of nostalgia. Some great 80s choices of songs. Everything, the song that Bowser did for Peach was hilarious. The one thing that I wish it would have, and maybe there'll be a sequel, is I wanted like the haunted mansion. I thought it was really cool how they show Luigi being scared, just like he is in the mansion games that that he stars in. That he can be a scaredy cat, and I like the whole thing of the Donkey Kong. It felt like the Donkey Kong, of course, of the arcade. There was just a lot to like. The Rainbow Road. Um, I was quite impressed by this movie, even with Seth Rogen. It didn't bother me. I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was great.
You're a better man in the mean cash because even
I know.
with Seth Rogen voicing Donkey Kong, I did knock off a couple of points for the movie
I know.
because of that.
I know. I'm not really a fan of Seth Rogen anymore. I used to be, but he still did a nice job as Donkey Kong. Just there was so much nostalgia, and if you played, of course, the Mario games, you'll notice a lot of different things from the crazy flowers and but it Peach, the training, there was just a lot to like, and get the star, and it was a simple plot, and it works because that's what it is. And so I like that, also that whole thing about Mario enters her castle and she doesn't know him, so then they start getting to know each other. And Toad, the one, my only one probably nitpick though was it was hard for me to get used to listening to Chris Pratt talk as Mario because I wanted him to go Mario, but he didn't. So, but it was fine. I just still would have liked him to talk like these.
Yeah, like Charles
Yes,
Martinet.
right.
I get that. I mean, that's the voice everybody's familiar with ever since the N64 days.
And if you haven't seen the movie yet, make sure to stay to the end of the credits because there is an extra scene. And when you see it, you'll be like, "Oh, I like this."
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen a movie that actually made me feel good. I think the last movie I saw that made me really feel good was The Menu. Like in terms of enjoyment, it was a twisted film, but with Mario, I love the whole thing of family, and I think that I just had this feeling that because this movie has a aspect of family that it upset critics. I just have a feeling that upset them, and they wanted more. And I thought the runtime and everything pretty much about this movie and Mario finding his brother, it felt you're basically playing the game in a lot of ways. And the nostalgia, great choices of songs, um, the
You listen to
carts.
the score, you hear different
Yep.
themes from the different games.
Da-na-na,
Boom,
da-na-na-na-na-na.
boom, 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 boom.
Yep. Yep.
Da, da,
Yep.
da.
Um, you know, there was even one part where they had in the background, they had the heart, and then they had like Mario and Luigi coming together and stuff. It looked funny. But yeah, this movie it's really good. It's a really good film, and it has a lot of nostalgia. But if you didn't play the Mario games, go play the Mario games. If
Well,
you think
not only
Mario
that,
sucks, and if not, watch the movie, but then play the games.
Cash. I don't know how many Easter eggs you were able to catch while watching the movie in reference to other Nintendo properties, but there are quite a few in there.
I saw Kid Icarus. That was cool.
Of course, the pizzeria that Mario and Luigi are at is called Punch Out Pizzeria.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the next movie that they're saying that's going to be coming out will be a Legend of Zelda movie, which, if done right, that'll be a lot of fun too.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padawan Bee says, I haven't seen the movie, For me personally, this was an immediate buy when I heard the great buzz right out of the gate. Yeah, it definitely is a great buy. It's definitely one that as soon as they release it on DVD and Blu-ray, you should get a physical copy. Any other thoughts on Super Mario Brothers, Cash?
Well, the Kong world was cool. Like there was just a jungle world. I think it had a different name. Um, there's a lot of cool stuff about this movie. Just it's also about family. Oh no, like
Mhm.
they're and Mario and Luigi are kind of outcasts to their family, and his father thinks that Mario is just dragging Luigi down with this nonsense.
Yeah, you're seeing what I'm seeing from a Cardinal fan who's not too happy about his team right now. But like I told you in my reply, Whoopa, you and I both know it's baseball, and you know how quickly things can turn around. So I'm not gonna start gloating yet because I know as soon as I do, it's gonna bite me in the ass.
hmm
And Padawannabe says if they take Zelda seriously, it will most likely break all the records. Yeah, that's the thing. They looked at Mario, they looked at what they could do with Mario with Nintendo's approval because Nintendo, after what happened 30 years ago with the live action Super Mario Brothers movie, wasn't really quick about getting back into the movie making business. So Nintendo is very protective of their properties. And they'll definitely be protective of Zelda and any movie associated with it. Was Yoshi in the movie? Well, before I answer that question, there you go. The answer is there wasn't just a Yoshi, there was a lot of Yoshis in the movie. So there you go. And now I can take that away. And Kitty Bear says, never played Mario games. I'm a PC master race.
yeah,
Well,
but you can still play them other ways on PC, Kitty Bear, if you want to.
well, I'll admit I wouldn't be the gamer I am had I not played a Mario game. That's where it really all started. Yeah, I played a little bit of Atari 2600 before then. And of course, I had a friend who had a Sega Master System, but once I got my NES and started playing Super Mario Brothers, I was hooked. And let's see, Whoopa is saying, I just want a Whoopa movie. When will Nintendo call me? Well, have you called your agent? Have your agent call my agent?
And since
And
Baron is not here, whoopa, whoopa.
mhm. And in case anybody who's just joining us is wondering where Baron's at, he's in the middle of the move. So once he gets settled in with his move, hopefully he'll be able to rejoin us here on Pop Talk. But his move is top priority right now. And Whoopa says, I know, but this team just feels bad. And we just sent Jordan Walker down, which pisses me off. Well, Whoopa, yes, this is going into baseball talk, but by all accounts, if you read the other side of things, it sounds like a former Cub was a problem in the Cubs clubhouse. Not saying that's true because I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not a fly on the wall, but they're saying that Wilson Contreras was an issue in the clubhouse. So I don't know. Of course, Gap is saying, hey, Whoopa. And let's see. Kitty Bear says, I have no interest in playing Mario games. Oh, no. Oh, come on, Kitty Bear. You gotta give a Mario game
Dun,
a
dun, dun,
chance.
dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun. Oh, did I keep it on here or did I take it off to make room for more clips? Let's see. Oh, I still got it. Come on. How does this not entice you, Kitty Bear? Come on, doesn't that make you want to play? How could you not want to play? Listen to that music. Oh man. Come on, that just, warms your heart. It brightens your soul. Come on. And let's see. Whoopa says, "Hey, we didn't give Baron any paid time off. Tell him to get back over here." Uh, y- well, see, the thing is, Whoopa, he doesn't have to answer to me. And oh well, I'm sorry, my Mario impression sounded more like Kermit the Frog here. Yep, After Dark doesn't like my impression. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this article. It says the Super Mario Brothers movie has a different script in Japan. Again, this is by Kate Onder. It was posted just yesterday. It says the Super Mario Brothers movie has a different script in Japanese. The Super Mario Brothers movie is one of the biggest movies of the year and could easily gross $1 billion at the box office in the next few weeks. Although it has divided some critics, the movie has gone over incredibly well with fans and families with small children. Nintendo already confirmed more movies based on Nintendo properties are on the way, so it's clear they're pleased with the film too. Goes on to say, given Nintendo has had poor history with adaptations, that is saying a lot and shows that the so called video game movie curse may be a thing of the past as a whole. Well, let's not jump that far yet. Mario struck lightning in the bottle, but unless you have the same love and passion put into other movies, it may not happen twice. Sorry, that comes from me being a Cub fan. Not getting too far ahead. With that said, there is a different version of the Super Mario Brothers movie in Japanese. While other countries often feature different dubs to translate the dialogue into another language, some may not know that the script itself sometimes gets changed too. Speaking to GameSpot, Shigeru Miyamoto revealed that the Japanese version of the Super Mario Brothers movie has a unique script. As of right now, it's unclear if there are any major differences besides possibly changing some words around, but select theaters will be showing the Japanese version of the film starting April 28th, so you can see for yourself. Since we were creating the movie in both Japan and the United States, we thought we should make a Japanese version as well, he said. When we decided to make this movie, we discussed creating a unique Japanese script from the beginning. Even if we were shown an English script, it would be hard to understand the subtitle nuances. And of course, for a limited time, you can find the Japanese version of Super Mario Brothers in Honolulu, Hawaii, in Los Angeles, California at AMC Del Amayo and AMC Orange, AMC Burbank, Seattle, Washington, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, New York, San Francisco, and Vancouver. It's not coming to my area, so I won't be able to see it. Goes on to finish out this article by saying the Super Mario Brothers movie is expected to kick off a franchise that will feature sequels and spin-offs, but we have yet to see what exactly those could be. Either way, it seems like Mario will transcend gaming from here on out, and who knows what exactly that will look like in the future films. What did you think of the Super Mario Brothers movie? Well, you heard my reaction to it a few weeks ago when I went and saw it. You heard Cash's reaction. If any of you have seen the Super Mario Brothers movie, I would love to hear it. But yeah, I think that's a pretty nice treat for folks in those selected cities to be able to hear the Japanese version, just to, hear some of the differences in dialogue. How about you, Cash?
Yeah, it makes sense for them to do this. So yeah, I'm sure people are going to go see it, find out what's going on.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if Padawan be. I bet the Japanese would even get a kick out of it.
I don't know if that would happen, Kitty Bear. That is pretty.
No, 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 no. They wouldn't make that kind of change to it, Kitty Bear. All right. So we have another story, and I'm trying not to go through too many. And I know you had posted some to me earlier, Cash, that we can definitely discuss, and which we will. I just want to try to keep the main discussion, and that's is Star Wars dead for Anonymous when he's able to get here. So let me go ahead, paste the link to our next article. There we go. Link is now posted and it will be shared on the screen here in just a moment. All right. So we have this article from Cosmic Book News, and it says Indiana Jones 5 is the last, says Harrison Ford. Harrison, Harrison. Everybody knows what the true last movie was. We didn't need Crystal Skull, and we don't need Dial of Destiny. The
We
last
probably
movie,
don't, but if they go out with a bang, is what they should be pushing for. Then I'm okay with it, but they have to go out with a bang.
yeah, but the last movie, in my opinion, was The Last Crusade. And of the Indiana Jones movie, that's second behind Raiders of the Lost Ark. So this article says the final installment of the franchise gets released on June 30th, but will someone new continue the role? This is by Will Harrigan. It was posted on Monday. And it goes on to say Harrison Ford makes it as plain as day that Indiana Jones 5 will be the last time we see the actor playing a character in a movie. While Harrison Ford is now 80 years old, that isn't stopping him. As it has been announced, he will be starring in Marvel's Captain America New World Order, but his indie days are over. This is the final film in the series, and this is the last time I'll play the character. I anticipate that it will be the last time that he appears in a film. Ford confirmed to Total Film and said if the rumored Indiana Jones TV series happens, that is said to have already been canceled. He will not be involved in that if it does come to fruition. Goes on to say, so with Harrison Ford done with the role, it has been rumored Phoebe Waller-Bridge will be taking over the fedora and whip. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is playing Indy's goddaughter, Helena Shaw, and spoke with Total Film about how the character differs from Indy's former allies in the past movies. And it has a quote here where she says, I think they really achieved something extraordinary. She fits into the canon and she feels like there is certainly an energy that she shares with all the characters that have come before, especially with the female parts. But she is unique and she has a fresh voice. Waller said, she was somebody who was mysterious from the off. I think Indy's often been the mystery to those characters before, especially his female counterparts, and I think there's something really unusual in how they flip that here. And it goes on to say Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny gets released on June 30th, directed by James Mangold, and also stars Antonio Banderas, John Rhys Davies, Shawnette Renee Wilson, and Thomas Ketchman, Toby Jones, Boyd Holbrook, Oliver Richters, and Ethan Isidore. Probably saying that wrong. And Mads Mikkelsen. Of course, we have some screenshots from the movie. I don't know, Cash. I've got a bad feeling about this movie.
I'm not eating anything, guys. You can't prove it.
Well, you're being quiet about it, so that's what I appreciate it.
Of course, but excuse me.
And now he's choking on his food.
No, but no, they need to go out with a bang. And Padawannabe, there has been a few Indiana Jones games. There was the Lego one does count. And then there was one in the early 2000s, which was very good. And then there was another one that was a point-click one that was a lot of fun, too. It's been about 3. Some of the other ones are brutal. The Last Crusade game is not forgiving.
No, the arcade version of the Temple of Doom wasn't easy.
Right.
And its
Yeah,
NES
I forgot about that one.
easy.
Yes. The Temple of Doom one is a lot of fun. So, yeah, there's been a few.
Yep.
The Atari one does not count because that one's an abomination.
Kind of like the ET game.
Ugh.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that assessment there, Padawannabe. It does sound like it's going to be a mess. And honestly, I don't know.
I would hope not. But it would be really silly if they had this game and then they want to be like, oh, Indiana Jones is now this woman and stuff. It's like, oh boy. It's just silly and nonsense. So they could just end it. But we'll see.
You know what I'll do? I'm not going to say I'm not going to go see it. I mean, right now, here on April 26th, 2023, I don't have any interest in it right now. But if word of mouth is positive, I might go see it.
Well, Disney needs. There's printing going.
You're roboting, Cash.
It's. Am I?
Yeah.
Am I still roboting?
Not now.
Okay, good. I was a robot, guys. Very, very scary. Terminator.
Cash in disguise.
Even stuff like the Crystal Skull, there was things you can find to like. The plot was terrible. You need a good plot for this movie, and if it's all basically about how old man Indy is going to give his whip to his granddaughter, that's going to be stupid. I don't know. I just know. He needs to be a big part of this adventure, and I would think he would be.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, the movie is titled Indiana Jones.
Exactly. Yep.
I wouldn't want it to be one of those things where, yes, we're titling this movie Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Yet you're not going to see Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there's gotta be a lot of indie in this. In the trailer they're showing there is, so we'll see what happens. It's very easy, especially a lot of stuff related to Disney, to say, ugh, why? Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I mean, a couple of stories that I'm saving for when Anonymous gets here will make us ask why, but I will admit ahead of time that I've already ordered Jedi Survivor and I will be streaming Jedi Survivor.
Oh,
So
really? You decided to pay the 70, huh?
I decided to pay the 70, but
My
you know
goodness.
what? Here's the thing. Just like I was critical about Gotham Knights, I have some
Oh,
criticism about Scars Above. If there are problems with the game, I'll voice my opinion and tell you what the problems are.
yeah.
The only way I was able to beat the boss yesterday in Scars Above is instead of having aim assist set to strong, I had to set it to weak so I had more control of my aim.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, okay, if you're gonna drop the 70, that's, I haven't seen a base game yet that has $70 worth of content, but maybe this one will.
I know it. I know I'm taking a big risk going ahead and buying it, but
But it's
part of
already
me
starting to get some good reviews, so we'll see what happens.
part of me wants to play it because I had a lot of fun playing Fallen Order.
Well, hopefully the map is a
And
lot
I
better.
want to see where this adventure takes Cal.
Hopefully the game won't stutter, even though it's
Yeah.
supposed to be for newer gen, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
Well, we'll see. I'll make sure before I even start streaming it that I optimize the game so it runs the best that it can on my system.
You know,
And Whoopa Troopa says, I really want to get Jedi Survivor, but I would have to get a next gen console or a new PC to play it. That's understandable too. And Gap says, Scars, so much for rapid fire. It was very slow, remember? Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that upgrade for your ability, rapid reload, the slowest rapid reload I've ever seen in the game. All right, so let's go ahead and take away Indy, and let's talk about this article that you posted earlier, Cash. And you'll recognize it once you see it.
Yeah.
Because I know you have your thoughts on this. I have my thoughts on this. Because there's also a follow up story that we will read as well.
Yep.
But this comes from WCCF Tech. It says Microsoft deal to buy Activision Blizzard is officially blocked by UK's CMA. This is posted just today, and it's by Alicio Palombo. And it says following hits from Activision Blizzard's pre-market stock being down, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority (CMA) regulatory body has rendered a negative verdict on Microsoft's proposed 68.7 billion deal to buy the company. This is unexpected following the CMA's reversal and admission that the console market wouldn't be endangered by the acquisition. The CMA has therefore ruled against the deal based on the supposed dangers for the cloud market, stating that the behavioral remedies proposed by Microsoft would not be enough. The CMA's press release says the company would have reason to make Activision Blizzard games exclusive to its cloud services, which are already in a strong position to begin with, according to the regulatory body. Here's an excerpt from the overview document shared by the CMA. On cloud gaming, our assessment is different. Microsoft already has strong advantages in this market. It owns Windows, which is by far the leading PC operating system and the operating system on which most PC games run. It has significant cloud infrastructure and systems through Azure and xCloud, and it has a strong gaming base through its Xbox ownership and a portfolio of leading games. It goes on to say no other cloud gaming operator has this combination of advantages. Some of these strengths are already reflected in Microsoft's current UK market share of cloud gaming of between 60 to 70%. Activision games such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft are among the most popular content available on consoles and PCs. We found that Activision games are likely to be important to cloud gaming services in the future, while Activision has so far not offered its games on a cloud gaming service. The evidence shows that it will have strong incentives to do so, particularly given the significant growth projections for cloud gaming. We concluded that without the merger, Activision games would become available on cloud gaming services in the UK in the near future. We have therefore concluded that combining Activision's strong portfolio of games with Microsoft's current multiple cloud gaming strengths, and they go on to say, would enable Microsoft to harm current and emerging cloud gaming competitors by withholding Activision games from them. And unlike in the case of consoles, we have not found that there are any material reasons to stop it doing this. Microsoft has endeavored to sign 10-year contracts with Nintendo and various cloud companies, NVIDIA's GeForce Now and Boosteroid, Ubisoft, and EE to try to assuage the CMA's concerns. However, the CMA said the benefits of these deals are highly uncertain and could not qualify as relevant customer benefits. Microsoft's intention to put those games on its Game Pass subscription service was, on the other hand, valued as a relevant customer benefit, but it was also counterbalanced by the CMA's assessment that it would only represent improved value for a portion of the existing customers, and the likely increase in Game Pass subscription price would offset that anyway. Rumors had just suggested Microsoft would close the deal even with the pending FTC lawsuit if the deal was approved by the UK and EU, but the CMA's verdict has put a massive dent in that plan. Microsoft will appeal the ruling, as confirmed by President Brad Smith in a statement shared via Twitter that also laments a flawed understanding of the cloud market. Still, the chances of reversing the outcome appear slim. Meanwhile, Activision Blizzard's outspoken executive vice president corporate affairs, Lulu Maservi, just tweeted that the decision is a setback for the United Kingdom's ambitions as a tech hub, making it look like the UK is closed for business. She said Activision Blizzard will work with Microsoft to change the ruling in the appeal. And do you want me to ask you what you have to say about this article, Cash, or do you want me to go on to the next article that's a follow up to this?
Well, this is a major problem, and then it's Sony is locked down, and
You still there, Cash? Cash,
once
you read me. You cut out, brother. I'm gonna give Cash a few moments since he cut out before we move on to the next article because I want to make sure that Cash's thoughts are heard and I'll go ahead and read some comments. Kitty Bear is saying Fallen Order was 72 hours to complete. Only took me 4 days to complete. Not worth the full price, in my opinion. I expect Survivor to be the same, so I'll wait to get it for $5.
Eh,
I understand. You're
um,
back.
yes. Sorry, there was some interference. But this can be a problem, and but I don't know how this is all going to play out. It's just there's too much monopoly, and the monopoly of Microsoft it's a problem. So if they don't get it, it may not be. If they don't get it, which they're going to have to spend even more money to try to get it. So I hope it is going to pay off for them. And I hope if you do get this property, the other problem is here comes these monopolies again. Maybe somebody should somebody else should find a way to get that money, but I don't know who's going to have it besides Sony and some other company. But yeah, somebody else needs to own this and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and then show trailers of stuff and or show concept art or whatever that they're actually going to do it. But Activision Blizzard, before all the so-called allegations and whatever, they were mostly a dumpster fire. So we'll see how this all plays out, though. But if one company has more control again, it's just going to be less competition, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sorry, but competition is good for business.
Yes, it is definitely good for business. Yes.
The less competition, the less options that you have, and the less creative these companies are going to be. I'm going to use a perfect example. Once WWE bought WCW, there was no creative incentive for WWE to come up with unique storylines that differentiated themselves from other companies since they had a monopoly over the wrestling business. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next article that is related to this one. And let me go ahead and select it. There we go. And I'll make sure to post a link to it in the chat. And there you are. So this comes from Games Radar, and it says Microsoft and Activision say they will appeal merger obstruction. Of course, it was just posted 12 hours ago, and it says Microsoft remains fully committed to the acquisition. This article is by Ali Jones, and it says both Activision and Microsoft have issued statements saying they will appeal the decision by a UK watchdog to block their planned merger. Earlier today, the UK Competitions and Markets Authority announced that it had prevented the deal over concerns that the deal would damage competition in the cloud gaming market. In a statement issued to Games Radar Plus, Microsoft's Vice Chair and President Brad Smith said, "We remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal," Smith states that the CMA's decision rejects a pragmatic path to address competition concerns and discourages technology innovation and investment in the United Kingdom and draws attention to the multiple cloud gaming partnerships Microsoft has struck in recent months. Goes on to say, in a statement provided by an Activision spokesperson, the publisher said that the CMA's report contradicts the ambitions of the UK to become an attractive country to build technology businesses. We will work aggressively with Microsoft to reverse this on appeal. The report's conclusions are a disservice to UK citizens who face increasingly dire economic prospects. We will reassess our growth plans for the UK. Sorry, global innovators, large and small, will take note. Despite all its rhetoric, the UK is clearly closed for business. So that's the same quote that we read in the WCC Tech
Mhm.
article, and it also goes on to say in a message sent to staff, Activision CEO Bobby Kotick, who will reportedly remain imposed if the deal fails, repeated that we can and will contest this decision, stating that we've already begun the work to appeal the UK Competition Appeals Tribunal. The CMA's decision puts a significant roadblock in front of Microsoft's attempt to purchase Activision despite the company's confidence in recent days. It's unclear how long an appeal process would last, but it means that the original goal of finalizing the deal by the summer now seems very unlikely. So before I get your thoughts on that one, Cash, I do want to welcome in tonight's guest for Pacific 414 Pop Talk. You know him, you love him.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Welcome, Anonymous. Good to have you here, brother.
I feel loved. I really
You
do.
should. You should.
Hey, at least we don't mistreat you here.
True.
Oh, Baron does.
Well, that's Barrett, but Barrett's not here tonight.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And don't forget Phil McCracken. He's a creepy stalker.
True, but he's not on the panel tonight.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You have nothing to worry about.
I'll just go with it then.
How's your day been, brother?
Oh man, it's been so awesome. It's just it's pretty boring. Another boring day. I did get to eat some good Chinese food. That's all I got though.
Hey, anytime you can eat good Chinese food, that's a good way to end the day, at least.
That's right. As long as it doesn't bend you over and make you vomit, you're doing good.
True. But you can say that about any food when you go out.
Yeah, it's like Chinese, it's depending on the look of the building. It's one of those you just putting your life in your own hands sort of deals,
I feel like with Gap, when people aren't here on time, he just wants to throw something at somebody.
Hey, Gap.
Mhm.
Anonymous already let me know that he's going to be a little late to the stream.
Yeah,
and I was
got
okay
life
with
things,
that.
man. Life things.
Oh, I'm always here. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun.
True. Phil's always here. He always has his cloaking device engaged. You never know when he'll appear.
I don't know. Gap.
I figured it was.
If people don't show up on time, I guess, or something, he's going to pull out a phaser. I don't know.
But what if those people have already let me know that they're going to be a little late, and I've said okay?
I don't know.
Because you know what? There's
Gap's
life.
a stickler for certain things, so you just
Yeah. Gap. Some of us have jobs, man.
I'm lucky that for right now I can start Pop Talk at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
No,
so
one
you don't
day
have to
that could
stay up
change.
till like 12 o'clock at night,
True. All right. So just to let you know what we've been talking about, Anonymous, we were talking about Warner Brothers officially announcing that there will be a Beetle Juice 2.
for some reason.
Beetle Juice. Yeah. 30 years too late, probably.
Seriously.
But to be honest with you, though, I mean, they might have. It doesn't need to happen, maybe not, but at least they might have sidestepped that landmine about Beetlejuice in Hawaii. I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounded awesome.
And then the other story we had talked about before we start talking about Microsoft and Activision
Was Harrison Ford saying that Indiana Jones 5 is going to be the last one?
Really?
I know.
You would hope so.
Dude, you don't. You're lucky if you have another movie in you, let alone another indie movie.
Yeah. But he's had a great career.
Oh yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could ask for a better one. To be honest, I mean, he's an icon in the movie industry. He's beloved by most people that don't know him personally. But yeah, he's Indiana Jones. He's Han Solo. He's a double icon. Put it that way. He'll go down in history. He's infamous. I would say he's infamous now.
Yeah.
Not just famous.
Well, I mean, think about it. Everybody knows Harrison Ford. It doesn't matter if it's Indiana Jones or Han Solo. He's been in so many movies. Blade comes to mind.
Yeah.
If you want to think outside of Indiana Jones and Han Solo.
Well, Decker is only for the nerdy nerds, Indiana Jones and Han Solo, like that appeals to the masses.
Yeah.
Those are the two main roles. All us real regular nerds are going to be, sure, is he a replicant or is he not a replicant? That debate.
Some say he is, some say he isn't.
That's right. So yeah.
And of course, he was also in The Fugitive, which is a great movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it's based on the TV show, but still,
Clear
it's
and Present Danger. It's a really good film. Firewall, I even thought was a good movie. I didn't hate that film.
And I liked him in Cowboys and Aliens.
I think that's still somewhat underrated. I thought that was a pretty enjoyable film.
I did too. Everybody kept bashing me for that movie, and I was like, "Dude, it's cowboys and aliens in the same movie. How can you not like this? It doesn't matter."
It was a fun movie. I mean, my mom and I went and saw that movie when it came out. She's not even into science fiction, and even she enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's an underrated movie. I liked it.
All right. So I was saving two main stories, and it's the main subject that we're talking about on tonight's Pop Talk is Star Wars dead? Well, we're going to start off with a story from Cosmic Book News. And let me go ahead and post a link to it in the chat. And I will share that article on the screen. And we will read this article. Then we'll go into the next article. And after both articles have been read, we will, have a discussion. That's the main part of Pop Talk is having a discussion, letting our different points of view out there, and not flaming each other because someone has a different opinion. That's not what I want here. I don't want to be an echo chamber. So we have this story from Cosmic Book News, and it says Boba Fett, Tamara Morrison, jokes about by Disney and the Mandalorian treatment. It says the actor who first played Jango Fett back in 2002 seems well aware the Disney Plus show didn't live up to expectations. This is by Matt McGloin. It was posted just yesterday. And it says Boba Fett, Tamura Morrison, has a sense of humor when it comes to how his character has been treated by Disney, as well as The Mandalorian. The actor appeared recently at Australia's Supernova Comic Con, where he had some fun with the crowd at the expense of Star Wars. It's no secret that Disney Plus series The Book of Boba Fett wasn't that well received, and we can also add 2 episodes of the show that didn't even feature Tamara Morrison and Boba Fett, as they focus on The Mandalorian, Grogu, and Luke Skywalker. So, what's that say? Tamara Morrison addresses and jokes about what went down where it's probably safe to say there is some truth to it, and that he is well aware the show didn't live up to expectations about The Mandalorian. I was supposed to be in The Mandalorian season 3, but nobody rang me. I was waiting for the phone call in New Zealand, waiting and wanting to give up. Morrison said. Morrison added, well, that Mando guy stole a few chapters of my book. It was painful watching him turn up with some black new lethal sword, and the way he turned up in my book of Boba, he just destroyed everybody. I'm sure this guy is ruining my show, but I couldn't say anything. But I'm not the writer, so have to bear it, I guess. Sorry. About Disney. Tamara Morrison continued about Disney, and worth a note is you can watch the footage below to get a sense of the context and that Morrison is having a good time with the crowd. I think there is a few changes going on. We also come under the big umbrella known as Disney now too, he explained. So it's one of many previous few conversations we had in LA. The dialogue began, oh, look, we're having a few changes. We're having a few cutbacks. And while you hear that on the different finish of the road, it's no good attempting to barter any more cash. That's for positive. So we'll see what occurs. And of course, you can watch it for yourself. I'm not going to play it here, but I will definitely, you know, give my thoughts after we've read the next article. Because this next article is a rumor, and it's a rumor I've heard for a while, and it's already been talked about on other YouTube channels. But I have waited and waited, and I think now's a good time to talk about this rumor after we read the article. So let me go ahead, put the link to said article into the chat, change the screen here, and go. Let me try it again. And I do want to say to Rocco the Brave, hello.
Rocco.
Rocco! Hey, Rocco! How you doing, Rocco? Hey! I don't know why I chose that voice. It just works, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if Star Wars is exactly dead. There's people are like, it's over, boys, like with Kenobi and stuff.
All right, so
It's spinning, that's for sure. It's definitely spinning.
yeah. We have this article from Bounty in the Comics, which was posted just yesterday, and it says rumor Lucasfilm claims Luke Skywalker is not a significant part of the matrix of new content going forward. This is by John F. Trent. It says a new rumor, keyword, rumor is that a new rumor claims that Lucasfilm has given directives that Luke Skywalker will not be a significant part of the matrix of new content going forward. Goes on to say the new rumor comes from scooper WDW Pro, who most recently scooped Lucasfilm's recent Ray focused Star Wars film that was announced at Star Wars Celebration 2023. In this new scoop, WDW Pro's source informed him that Lucasfilm had a meeting with Hasbro, a consulting firm, and others where they detailed that Luke Skywalker will never be a main character in Star Wars again. WDW Pro added he was at best allowed to be an occasional cameo. And Goes on to say, from there, WDW Pro relayed that Lucasfilm sees Luke Skywalker as a cobweb character. He is a museum piece. He sells, but he is not a significant part of the matrix of new content going forward. So if Grogu is going to stay with Luke, then you lose Grogu. He's out of sight, with the exception of some glancing exposure. And for everybody in that meeting, that would have been catastrophic, he stated. Pro would further reiterate later in the video the page has turned on Luke Skywalker. Lucasfilm said regarding current active media, cameos and on screen references to him are the best anyone can expect going forward. Nothing more. Don't ask. All the way from Kathleen Kennedy. Again, this is a rumor. It's not just Luke Skywalker, but all the original trilogy characters, WDW Pro said. The original trilogy characters are stuck in the past. Good for stunt cameos and legitimizing new characters and stories. However, various partners believe if they become desperate enough that Luke Skywalker can be used as a Hail Mary. And it goes on to say he also explained this information came from a meeting 2 years ago and was confirmed again in a meeting 10 months ago. He specifically noted following the success of The Mandalorian Season 2, that was Lucasfilm's position. They came out and said, "You will get not Luke." Goes on to say the rumor echoes a previous one. WDW Pro reported back in December 2020 that he noted behind the scenes large swaths of Kathleen Kennedy loyalists are messaging back and forth about their disdain for Luke Skywalker, a Caucasian male, being brought back in any valiant form. He added, in fact, I'm even told that individuals at Lucasfilm have been reading articles here on Pirates and Princesses as well as watching videos on Clownfish TV and are now actively planning on how they can roadblock the retcon attempts of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau to make Luke Skywalker a hero once more. Specifically, he noted that these Lucasfilm employees were planning to introduce ideas and narratives that would make a Luke redemption difficult, and were reportedly working in private messages to sabotage attempts by Filoni and Favreau via minor mediums such as graphic novels to push the Last Jedi narrative even harder. Goes on to say the goal is to canonize concepts in the coming years that would prevent the Luke and Grogu from being the future heroes that Favreau has planned. WDW Pro clarified these people are incensed that the reaction to Luke Skywalker and The Mandalorian has been incredible. A Lucasfilm employee previously had a picture of Luke Skywalker with a giant red X across his face, as discovered in an episode of Rebels Retcon on the official Star Wars YouTube channel. Previous Lucasfilm employee Justin Bolger claimed the image was his desk and was part of his Imperial Couture decorating style. It goes on to say, however, Kathleen Kennedy made it perfectly clear during an appearance at Fortune magazine's Most Powerful Women Summit in 2015 that she planned to radically change not just Lucasfilm's internal culture, but also the type of stories they would tell. Specifically, she planned to inject feminism into Star Wars. Kennedy detailed, I think the interesting path we've had is the conversation that took place around consumer products because there were a lot of companies that were in place who, frankly, didn't initially feel that Star Wars was for girls. She continued, and when you have a company situation where between Lucasfilm and Disney, we were all looking at this situation saying, no, with Star Wars, we have to change this. We have to make sure that we create products that are, in a sense, appealing to both boys and girls. What's wrong with that? But Star Wars was already appealing to boys and girls.
Yes.
Kennedy also relayed the fact that the company was bought by the Walt Disney Company has been amazing because they very much support the fact that we are trying to grow in the workforce, number of women executive positions, and in all positions inside the company. And with the movies that we are making, with the protagonists that we are putting in the stories, so I get a huge amount of support with that, she noted. She then touted, but we have 50% of our executive team are women, and 6 out of 8 of the people in my story group are women. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be surprised that we're making Star Wars movies, and the majority of the people involved in the development of those stories are women. And I think it's making a huge difference in the stories that we're trying to tell.
This reads like a freaking uh funeral eulogy.
Anybody have bagpipes with Amazing Grace?
Yeah, that's what you need. This is insanity. Everything she says equals dead Star Wars. There's nothing positive about what she's been saying. Nothing.
Obi-Wan Kenobi actor Ewan McGregor also revealed that Lucasfilm scrapped an idea that would see the series focus on Kenobi and Luke Skywalker rather than Kenobi and Leia. Excuse me, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next guest for tonight's show, because I know he has a lot to say about this, and I will definitely give everybody a chance to say something. But please welcome from release McCracken, Phil McCracken.
Oh,
YouTube
Ian McCracken.
Hello.
Well, look at the time.
Hello.
I got this thing I gotta go
Dare
do.
go anywhere. I hurried up and eat my dinner so I could come on here to be with Anonymous. You
He
can't
follows me
hide
everywhere
from
I go.
me.
No, apparently not.
Good to have you here, Phil.
Creepy old man. What?
All right, so let's go ahead and finish the rest of this article. It says, as reported by MovieWeb, McGregor said during an appearance at Fan Expo Boston, it was going going to be a story about me and Luke. It was always going to be that. And that was one of the genius moments where everybody went, wait a minute, and then changed it. That's the beautiful thing about how passionate Disney, Lucasfilm, all of us who are involved with it is from the beginning is where is we try really hard not to let anything of bad just to protect your experience of seeing it for the first time. And that made no lick of sense as far as I'm concerned. He added, I think it's really cool that Disney and Lucasfilm care so much about the fan experience. They really want you to have 100% experience the first time you see it. And if you've read that and that leaked and this came out, it's just a bit of a shame, isn't it? It's like looking at your Christmas presents before Christmas Day. All right. So we have quite a bit to unpack here, and the first person I'm gonna ask your thoughts after hearing this article, and Phil, I hope you're able to hear the previous article before we read this one. Well, Phil, give us your opinion.
If this article is true, because remember, we're dealing with speculation, even though it's kind of maybe truthish, for myself, I believe it. And it goes more proof that, like I've been saying for the last couple years, the Luke Skywalker we got at the end of Mando season 2 was nothing but bait, fish bait. And if you bid it, you bid it good. The only reason that I see him ever bringing Luke Skywalker back for any reason now is for saving their butts. And that's me being as nicely as I can put it. The language I really want to use is inappropriate.
I understand.
As far as Disney Star Wars, for me, it's done. Stick a fork into it. They don't know how to respect what came before it. I'm all for going in new directions, new characters. But if you can't respect what came for it, why proceed with it? You know, to me, every time I hear Kathleen Kennedy doing anything, she is the female Kurtzman. You know, we three of us watched and seen Picard season 3. I won't say it's the greatest Star Trek, but it's the best that we have gotten in a long time, but still doesn't make it anywhere compared to where Star Trek was and should be. Disney Star Wars is at a place where it's a slow, painful death. There are still people that want to hang on to it, and God bless them, but it's never going to be what it was. Never. And as long as Disney got it, I'm not buying it. That's how I see it. That's how I feel. And as far as him being a white Caucasian male, what does it matter if he was a white Caucasian male? What does it matter?
That shouldn't matter. That should be the least of their worries.
To be honest, they say they're tired of categorizing and diversified. Okay, what is a white Caucasian? If they can give you a definition on that, I'm white, I'm Italian, but I don't have anything in common with the Scandinavian. And to loop us all together as Caucasians, okay, I'm not ashamed to do it, but if that's the way they feel, but don't punish me for it. Look, they want to make a movie tomorrow about Sitting Bull. I'm all for it. I would love to watch it. But don't sit there and make a movie of Sitting Bull at the expense of somebody else. And that's what it seems like Disney wants to do. Oh, we want to get away from Luke Skywalker. 3,000 years ago, you had Alexander the Great, and we're still living with him today, right? The things he done 3,000 years ago is still taught in your history books. Julius Caesar, about the same thing, still taught in your history books. Luke Skywalker is in the Star Wars universe. What do you want to compare him to?
He is the Star Wars universe.
There you go. It's nothing against Anakin Skywalker and anything, but if the original trilogy was not a success, the rest of Star Wars wouldn't follow. And here's a company called Disney that has never succeeded in science fiction. The Black Hole was a disaster. Tron is some people like it, but a vast majority, it was never a success.
No, it has a cult following.
It does have a cult following. I do give it that. But Disney has a history of live action. The only thing we can say they succeeded on their own, and it was not intentional, was Pirates of the Caribbean. And that's it. They get a hold of Star Wars, and look at what they did. So, I don't mean to ramble, but that's just my feelings on the matter. I'm from somebody that used to love Star Wars. Well, let me say, I don't used to love. I love my Star Wars. And my Star Wars ended with Revenge of the Sith. Anything after that, I don't care. They can keep it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And no, Phil, you don't have to apologize. You don't have to say
Apology
sorry for
accepted.
rambling because
And-
I asked you for your opinion. You're giving your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad because I was a person I remember to this day going to the theater with my dad, with my brother, and seeing what we call today the New Hope. And I'll be honest with you, and with everybody, A New Hope would have flopped if it didn't have the Battle of Yavin. That is what made Star Wars. When you seen that poster board, that billboard where they had on there saying "No wars in Star Wars, dinosaurs, diversity," that billboard picture that they had, that whatever they want to call it,
Yeah, on
was
that whiteboard.
truth. It was the truth. We have it today. Everything on that board is today. We sit here today and we're Marvel. You can't Boba Fett can't kill a single person. No one can die in Boba Fett. A Wookiee gets shot 1,000 times and doesn't die.
Yes.
Yet their character, Cassian Andor, can do right in the beginning a headshot.
Yeah, because I remember when you, Cash, Paul, and I, and Crit, we all watched the first episode of Kenobi. And we thought the first episode of Kenobi was good.
Wasn't bad.
And then we saw the second episode.
I will say Disney needs to stop and take a look. And I know it's a different situation, but it's quite similar. Budweiser is suffering the Coca-Cola effect.
Yes.
That is what you want. If people want to change what Disney and Lucasfilm and all these companies are going, that's how you do it. You break them financially. That's what they understand. And if they lose money, then the change can happen. You know, Disney is at such a point. I know you didn't see the article and don't have it, but look at what Iger's trying to do today. He's trying to sue somebody. Good luck.
I heard about that, where he's trying to sue DeSantis in the state of Florida.
He's trying to break the state. Okay, it's a different thing when you're trying to change people, but here you are to force the change. You want to break the state. I hate to say this, Florida does not need Disney down there. If Disney wants to pick up, if I was Florida, I'd say go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. At this point, it's more of a headache. But I don't mean to get off topic. I'm just trying to loop it all together.
You're fine, Phil. You're fine. This is your time.
Luke Skywalker is one character. I mean, if you
well, we just lost Phil.
Yeah.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't yeet him out. Yeah, all of a sudden he was there, and then mid-sentence he was gone. So, Phil, if you can still hear us, please come back as soon as you can, brother. So, Anonymous, I'll go ahead and let you give. Oh, here's back.
Well,
he's back. He's back.
Sorry,
Well,
that was
all-
a message from the man above. That was we have a thunderstorm in the area, so it was a quick.
I understand with thunderstorm.
Sorry, but
and
I
if you-
don't mean what I mean by that is an analogy. I don't mean it as religious. What I'm just trying to use a comparison. When you take somebody out of something, where that's there. Take King Arthur out of King Arthur. What do you have?
Nothing. You don't have anything.
It doesn't make any sense. And this is quote unquote, not George Lucas, but excuse me, Disney saying we need to appeal to a new audience. Do you see what happened to their memorabilia, their merchandise? Their merchandise is nowhere near it was when they bought it. The people that were buying the merchandise, or they're 50 plus, or even 40 plus, or even 30 plus people buying that merchandise. And yes, there are some women out there buying it, but mostly is, yes, white males that happen to be buying it. So if you want to kill your product and commit commercial suicide, be my guest and do what Budweiser did. Do what Coca-Cola did in 1985. That's how you destroy a product. And I hate to say it, that's the way people have to do it. They have to say, I am not touching Star Wars. If you want to change it, that's the way you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of the people that stood up to Anheuser-Busch and said, no, this is not something that's acceptable.
Wow. If they could, Dylan Mulvaney would be in the next Star Wars movie.
No.
Guarantee it.
If they also, guys,
all they have to have is one brain cell to
no,
say,
we're not.
oh, well,
I
let's
don't
see what
think
happens to Bud Light.
I think we're supposed to stay away from that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
told
just
by
gonna
other
mention-
streamers recently, they're just looking
try to
for
avoid
that
it.
stuff.
They're looking for it. The algorithm is looking for it. So let's.
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun,
sorry.
dun,
Keep
dun,
it-
dun.
yeah.
Dun, dun.
Weepy boy Dylan. How about that?
Hey.
I don't think they can catch on to
Could
that.
be
They're
could
not
be
that
any
smart.
kind of person.
Yeah. It's I'm sorry, Rocco, but Star Wars is dead. As long as Disney holds the reins, it'll never be good ever.
It's just in a it's in a weird place. They're like, oh, Andor, we're gonna have a more serious tone. Oh wow, compelling drama. Okay, then they go back with Mandalorian season 3, and it's really goofy. And people point out certain parts of the show, and I don't know, just.
Well, look, 8 or 6 out of the 8 people were in her story group are all women. All SJW women who think cis white male Luke Skywalker is ancient and overrated, and they hate him because of that. You know, he doesn't have the right genitals, he doesn't have the right skin tone, he doesn't have the right sexuality for sure. So you're gonna get and they're not quality storytellers, obviously. Catholic, they're all just it's a giant yes factory, or echo chamber of crap, and they're all kissing each other's butts. Oh, this is so good. Oh my gosh, that's part of the story, so good. Oh, we have to have more representation. Oh my god, that's all you're getting in there. And that's why season 3 of Mando is so bad. And this is the quality that you're going to get from now on. You may get a gem of an episode, or a mid movie somewhere down the line, but because somebody had a good brain fart and spit out a decent, a halfway decent script, maybe, but it's still not going to be anywhere near what the first 6 movies were, or anything in the EU, or and then that's another thing. They keep robbing from the EU and changing everything up to make it all woman. Look at freaking Ahsoka. It's a woman show.
Say that Ahsoka trailer, they were taking Luke's story as far as battle.
Yeah, they're taking his.
Thrawn.
Taking his story.
Thrawn.
Well, Thrawn to me was bigger in the EU than what we got so far from Disney Star Wars. But it's ironic they had to go to the EU to save their Star Wars by bringing Thrawn in.
They're not saving it, and they're not going to save it. He looks like Elon Musk.
You're right. You're right. But here's the thing: can we say, for the sake of an argument, that really Timothy Zahn is? If anybody's saving Star Wars, and I'll give it to him, Timothy Zahn is the one who's saving Star Wars. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on Filoni, and I'm not sold on Favreau.
Well, there's even rumors going around that Favreau
might be aggravated. Who knows? I wonder
I think he's
far
checked
you would
out,
push
dude.
somebody. I don't know. It's possible. We don't we don't have actual insider stuff, but it seems like when they talk about this, that it's like, no, that can't be true, and then it turns out to be true, and you're like,
Yeah.
I just
Go
have
by
this
that
feeling.
storyboard.
My feeling is
that
that
storyboard
just a
cast says it
feeling,
all, and
yes,
everything that was on it's true. No wars in Star Wars. Dinosaurs.
freaking dinosaurs in Star Wars. Well, I mean, we've had creatures and stuff, but that's not dinosaurs.
And that was the very fact that they named it dinosaurs tells you every freaking thing you need to know.
Ridiculous.
Alien creatures would have been cool. Dinosaurs, no. That means they don't have no idea what to call it, what to call them, or what they want. They just want big giant monsters that look like dinosaurs.
You know, when you deal with a product, if somebody's going to go to work for Pepsi, you better know the history of the company you're working for. Well, Disney Star Wars, when you hire an actress and she says that she's the first black person in a thing, and they totally forget about Lando, who nobody in 1981 ever complained about Lando. They just saw Lando and the person playing it, Billy D, as a character that we loved. Didn't care what color he was. I don't remember anybody saying back then, who's this African American on the screen?
They could have put 10 black people in there, women, men. We wouldn't have cared.
Dude,
Would we
the funny thing
Because
is
we
too,
didn't
that
care.
they could do an all like minority version of Star Wars, but it still feels like Star Wars, which fan projects would do, just like they've done with other properties. If it still feels like an anime or it still feels like the movies, then it doesn't really matter. It's still enjoyable.
As long as they're new characters.
Yep.
In 1978,
originals.
I remember on TV, and people can say, "Oh, we never had it. We had diversity and inclusiveness. Just wasn't jammed down our throat." Battlestar Galactica. You had an African American as a second command. The original Colonel Ty was black.
Yep.
You had Boomer, who was black. You had a big heavyset man as Jolly. Towards a certain part of the season, you get women as because they needed more people to fly, so they put women into the Vipers.
And you had a black woman.
2 black women were in the Vipers. 2 black women. And you can go on YouTube and see it. They didn't say, "Oh, great job, black woman. You did a great job shooting down them Cylons." No one cared. They just saw these are female fighter pilots, which in 1978 it was unheard of. Most of the militaries at the time in real life did not have female fighter pilots.
Yeah,
but you have to understand in the story, and this is creative writing, when mankind's in danger and they're on the run from a force of Cylons, and you don't have enough pilots, and they did what they had to. They had to turn to women. Logical.
Yep.
And no one complained about it. No one said, "Oh, you can't show women doing that." That's 1978. What can you say? And I don't remember anybody growing up as a kid during that time and after that time ever complain about watching Battlestar Galactica.
I never heard it, and I watched Battlestar Galactica. Maybe because I was a kid, I didn't pay attention to that stuff, but even now, I don't hear anybody talking about the original Battlestar Galactica and going, "Oh, I can't believe they trained women pilots." No.
You know, I think it would really in my heart what is going on, and this is just my belief. These companies are trying to see who can do the most out there to earn social justice points. Look at me, I'm Coca-Cola. We were doing social justice in 2020, and not even understanding what they're doing. I mean,
that's exactly why Bud Light did what they did.
Yep.
It wasn't because they thought they're going to get all these transgender people to drink their beer. No, they did it because we need to get on board with the ESG. We need to earn some points.
Yep.
And now look what happened.
and you
Biting
kill
them in the ass.
you kill, and they want to complain. Okay, I'm sorry if they want to use the classification as white Caucasian male. Well, white Caucasian male is your major beer drinker. You're going to destroy that for, and nothing against anybody else or whatever they believe in, whatever. But let's just say hypothetically, there's the blue people. So you're going to advertise just and aim your market at the blue people, and nothing against the blue people. But if there's only 3 million blue people and you have 1 billion Caucasians, where you going to put your marketing at? It's just common sense. You don't destroy your marketing that you know is going to make you money, and then try to target and change and do a 360 towards the blue people. What you want to do is just generically and try to be neutral, make just a general advertisement and commercial. That doesn't have to be political sized, doesn't have to be gender sized, and it doesn't have to be categorized. You know, there's plenty of commercials out there that did that.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry to ramble, but my feelings is Star Wars is a slow, painful death of what happened to Doctor Who. Doctor Who was fast. That was a fast death. This with Star Wars is a slow, painful death. So,
yeah. Anything else you want to add, Anonymous, before I ask Cash?
Well, try not to repeat what Phil has said, but no, it's I don't see a path forward for Star Wars. I really don't. There's nothing unless Bob Iger comes out tomorrow. Hey, we've lost so much money. We had to fire so many people. That we're going to sell off a couple of our IPs and one of them Star Wars. Then that is the only way I'm going to have a glimmer of hope for the future of Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy's there forever, as long as she wants to be. She's running the ship. They don't care what she does. She is the instigator. She is the queen of intersectional feminism, and she ain't changing her mind. Favreau is not going to save it. Favreau's a defeated pup at this point. I don't know why he's still there. He can go off and make whatever movie he wants and have a successful career outside of Disney. He just needs to just say adios and goodbye, good luck. Sucks to be you. But and Dave Filoni is proven to be a hack. He doesn't care about classic Star Wars. All he cares about is his dream girl Ahsoka. And there's no path out of this. There really isn't. They're doubling down. It's their religion. They're prepared to lose money. They're like the Matrix. There's many different levels of existence they're willing to deal with. For the cause. There's no sign that they're going to turn around. The money's not going to do it. The loss of money. As long as people keep going to their parks and funding everything, they'll take a loss on these movies. They don't care. So do with that what you will. Got no hope for Star Wars. I believe it's dead, and rest in peace.
You've both made valid points, and that's why you're here. I asked you guys to speak your mind, and you're speaking your mind. So I'm not going to blame you for it. That's your opinion. All right, Cash.
I could be wrong. Cash, you give us hope, Cash. Bring us out of the darkness.
I don't know. It's just weird because even watching like the Bad Batch, it's like, why season 2? It's like, why am I enjoying this? Because they're talking about Coruscant and they're talking about Kashyyyk. So it's like, is this what it's come to, that I'm enjoying this because we're showing stuff that I liked from the prequels? And my brother and I, we still haven't finished that. I guess we will. He's like, oh, I want to finish the Bad Batch, but I don't know how much he cares about it. But with season 3 of The Mandalorian, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't have much to say. But what I have seen that has actually been shown to me is stuff of Lizzo and Grogu and flipping around and doing that. I don't really understand, even though I enjoyed Andor a lot overall, I don't understand what direction Star Wars is going in anymore. Ahsoka could be cool, but then again, Ahsoka could be full of goofiness that's not necessary. And I don't personally like this where there's not a serious tone to Star Wars much anymore. I don't like it. Why aren't people keeping their helmets on? Like, where's the intimidation factor? I just don't understand all this. So I want to be hopeful, but Star Wars is in such a weird place right now, even though Vision season 2, but even Visions 1, there's some to like, and then there's others. I don't care for these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Even as an anime fan, like, I don't care. So it's hard to be optimistic with Star Wars. Like, I don't like, there's a number of YouTubers who are like, we're defeated, it's over. Or they go on someone else's, their friend's channel just to be like, well, boys, that's it. It's over. Like, it's just so ridiculous to me. But because things can be fixed, but will they ever be fixed? I don't know. But this whole goofiness and not really, and it's like these helmets have to be off, but it's just mainly the goofiness.
Mm-hmm.
It's the goofiness, not much of a serious tone. And where's
What
the
about
compelling
actual
drama?
story?
Yes,
Where's
where is the story?
Coherent writing. Where do you get that at all?
I don't
Does any of
really
this make sense?
understand, because Boba Fett's story would be way different in my mind. Way different in my mind than what Favreau did. And it's also just like, oh, Favreau, what have you done? But then you start thinking, you know what? Maybe after some things that have happened, maybe he's more upset than we think he is. Maybe he's not showing it. Like, he seems happy, but maybe he's just like, I might be getting to the point. We don't know. We don't know for sure, but might be getting to the point where I'm just tired of this. I don't like what Disney's doing, and we don't really know exactly, even though he didn't come out and support her, we don't really know how upset he is about Gina Carano, because these people are also under contract too. So I don't know. I don't think he's too happy about the fact that he didn't get to write that Republic Commando thing. What was it called? Rangers of the Republic? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Rangers of
Okay, cool,
the Republic.
Yeah. I'm glad I remembered that. That could have been a cool show, but once again, there just needs to be a better direction. If Disney's smart, they either get Timothy Zahn, unless he just wants to now play ball and be like, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't think he would be like that. Or you go and hire some of these fans that are making these fan projects and go from there and see what can happen there. But if Star Wars can't find a more, and the other thing is also, it's also the it's just such a mess. But if they would just change some things and make things more serious again, I think Star Wars could be in a better position. You would hope something like Ahsoka would be serious, especially with Thrawn in there, but you just never know. Hey, here's a joke from Thrawn. Ha ha, I'm blue. Ha ha ha. I'm a chiz alien. Ha ha ha. Funny. Like, it seems stupid, but that's the kind of stuff we've already seen lately in a lot of these.
He sounds like Elon Musk. I'm going to crap my pants.
Please, no. I know. I heard something about that. I don't want that to be true.
I want to point out.
I seen the leaked video.
Yeah,
I want to point out 3 things real quick that Cash Money said. But the first thing I want to point out, since they bought Star Wars, there's one thing that they have not touched that's still making them money, and they have not interjected their Disney Star Wars ideas into, and that is the online game the New Republic. That's still going on, still a MMO that's still making money. And if you notice, they don't touch it. They left that alone. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there is stuff in there, but in typical George Lucas style fashion, it's there if you want it, but you can leave it well alone. You don't. I mean that's been. Let's be honest. George Lucas had entered some stuff into the games. Old Republic games, you had your first lesbian in there. No problem. If you didn't want to bother with it, you didn't have to. You know. So I'm all look. They want to include stuff like that. I can skip over it, bypass it. It doesn't bother me none. But as far as like Disney inserting what they want into it, they haven't. The second thing is, why, if Mando is doing so great, why haven't we got a video game?
That's true.
You know, if it was George Lucas, and I'm sorry to go back there, but if it was George Lucas, you got video games.
Yeah, LucasArts would have released a video game by now.
You know, if you notice, they haven't touched no video games for that. You know, there's, you know what? I can't remember on the sequel trilogy any video games coming for episode 7, 8, or 9. You had individual games for episode 1, 2, and 3.
The only games that I could think of that came out for the sequel trilogy were the Lego games.
That's it. That's it. So if they're seeing success in these markets, guess what? It has to do with old Star Wars, not their new stuff. You know, and their big claim to fame is with Disney, we got to target to a new market because this older generation ain't going to be there to buy the stuff. Well, it doesn't look like their targeting market is buying anything. But then again, what are they putting out for this so-called younger market?
Nothing enough value.
No, even if they want,
let's be perfectly honest, there's nothing of value.
I mean, even if they want to put out
and to say that, you know, old Star Wars fans are gone, guess what? All 4 of us are Generation X. We're not done yet.
Let's be honest.
Quite a few years left.
Even before they bought Star Wars, if there was something for Star Wars out of a T-shirt, I remember the last thing I bought of Disney as a T-shirt. I mean, excuse me, Star Wars was the 2008 election vote for Vader in 2008. They had the Yoda one, they had the C-3PO one, they had like a bunch of them, you know, and I got the vote for Vader in 08. You know, I thought it was cool. That was the last piece of merchandise I bought from Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
the problem is they go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I don't know if you heard me say earlier, Phil, but I did buy Jedi Survivor. And trust me, if there are problems with Jedi Survivor, I'm going to point them out.
I totally agree.
Yeah, if it is under Disney.
I mean, I'll be honest, Mike, I know you bought it, and I know Anonymous because I stalk him with it. We all bought Hogwarts, and it's a pretty good game. Now, is there a certain person in the game that I totally don't agree with? Yes, but I totally ignore it. If that's the one fault in the game that I personally don't like, I can deal with that.
Well, I mean, you got the one fault, and then you got the people who groomed him as a kid.
Yeah, that I wasn't going to venture there, but you know what? If anybody wants to know, in my heart, the Disney reason of going after Mr. DeSantis is because they want to tell our children how to be, not a parent. Let me put it to you this way: Disney never raised any kids. And if you want to know,
it's up to the parents to raise their kids.
They influence kids.
And let me, and I'm going to throw this out there real quick. Disney's history with their kids, minus what was her name? The lady that was very popular back in the day with Michael Douglas, not Michael Douglas. The guy that was
Are you
I
thinking
can't
about
believe I
Goldie
forgot his
Hawn
name.
and Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. They're the only two. But if you've seen the last history in the last 20 years of the people they had, and here they go, Britney Spears, where is she now? Look how that person turned out.
Dude,
Lindsay
anybody, just
Lohan.
about anybody who was on Disney,
The
any
only one that
Disney
seemed to have the
shows,
brain on her
kids.
head and was steered straight, and I'm not giving Disney the credit, was that Hillary Duff. Other than that, everyone that came out of Disney
Mess.
was dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They destroyed themselves, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I wouldn't trust Disney if I wouldn't look. Don't take my word for it. When what's his name? The guy who wrote "Achy Breaky Heart," the father,
Billy
of,
Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray
he
Cyrus.
said he
Yeah.
would never, if he had to do it again, he never would have had his daughter go.
But
to
he
Disney.
took the money anyways. That's my problem. with
He,
the
he
whole
was even
thing.
he was even on the show. That's the thing.
That's right. And that wasn't a bad show. It's for good for kids.
Well,
good
hindsight's
for adults.
2020, but look what they did to her.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, they did, and I'm sure there were people pulling her strings, but still, he took the money. I get tired of these people like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I hurt my daughter. Blah blah blah. You still took the money.
Well, yeah, but she didn't like go off the rails until after he took the money.
Yeah,
So it's not. It's a timing issue.
I know, but it's just,
I know.
They want to make an excuse. It's just so irritating. If you're so upset about it, give the money back to somebody. Give it to a charity. It's just.
It's. You know, he's seen stuff while all this was happening, but yet, I guarantee you, blind eyes were turned, and you know, hush hush, wink wink, nod nod, and then when your daughter turns out to be just a sex crazed psychopath at the end, then you regret that's when the regret sits in, and it's all over and done with, and there's nothing you can do about it. But
yes,
and real quick,
Disney is a destroyer of kids. Of kids' lives, and they are that. And that's what they've always been. It might have started out as a benevolent kind of thing. I just want to entertain kids. Walt Disney was great. I just want to entertain the kids and the families and bring joy. But then it became an influence. Disney as a company is an influence over kids.
Well, also,
and
if there's young. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, I do want to say hello to
Go
Stephen Ransom, and I also want to say hello to Apion.
Yo, yo, yo,
hey guys.
yo.
And you. But yeah, they over time, Disney, bad elements creep in. Decide, hey, we have this influence over kids. Let's do it this way instead of that way, and let's like steer a generation of kids into a different area of life that they should not go. And
Yeah, I mean, the Mickey
and all
Mouse
that.
thing did stuff to people. You got the thing, but also if these kids can't handle this, and as they're growing up, there should be people at the Disney executives or whatever to help them out. And maybe there has been some. Obviously, I don't really know anybody who was in the Mickey Mouse Club except like celebrities, but I don't know anybody personally. I think some of those people did survive, but other people did. Wasn't Amanda Bynes a Disney kid?
I believe she was.
I thought she was.
Probably, yeah.
Not 100%. But that's not Disney's fault that she unfortunately got schizophrenia or whatever, and they found her recently. It's horrible what's happened to her. Horrible. And she's just gone off the
that
rails,
just could be Hollywood.
That
could be a Hollywood influence.
I think she has schizophrenia or something, or she's bipolar, and it's just
Too many drugs.
Maybe so. I don't.
We can definitely say this is not Walt Disney's Disney.
No.
It's definitely not. And this is
after.
I would be honest
Eisner,
with you guys. As a parent, I would let my kids put in the VCR tape back in. I guess people don't even know what a VCR is anymore. But I would buy Disney movies, pop it in there.
Those of us here on the panel and those of us here in the chat, we all know what VCRs are.
But we'll pop into VCR and gave my kids popcorn and they watched Disney movie. And I don't want to say it kept them quiet, but it kept them entertained. But there's not something that I would say post 1999, maybe, that I wouldn't even let my kids watch.
Listen, we grew up every freaking week. Sunday, was it Sunday?
Yep,
Sunday.
Wonderful World of Disney. We wondered what the crap.
Eisner, yes.
Yes, all wondering what the crap, what they were going to show that week. It was something original, was it some old movie, or something. We all got our popcorn, waited for that intro, and just it was freaking magical. We watched Wonderful World of Disney every week.
I remember as a kid, and I believe it was 1975, might be 1976, the last time they ever brought it out, Song of the South. I love that movie. I love that movie to death. That was the reason you were singing as a kid, zippity doo dah, zippity day. Everything on that movie practically screamed Disney. And that was Walt Disney's favorite movie. Walt Disney.
He stood with the actors when they weren't allowed in the building for the Oscars.
And remember, that comes from a book, Uncle Remus. It's based on a book.
Most of Disney stuff is based on fairy tales and books. They just appropriated it and made their own.
Walt Disney had something there. He even had TV shows. You can even see there was one TV movie that he had with a young Kurt Russell. I forget the name of it, where he played
Robot Wore Tennis Shoes.
I'm not sure if that's the name of it. He played, and it's a Civil War movie, and he's a 14-year-old Confederate soldier.
Different one.
It's a free movie on YouTube. Watch it. There's nothing wrong with watching it. It was a beautifully done. I guarantee you today they ain't going to show it for obvious reasons. But you know what? Disney was trying at that time, 100 years after the Civil War, he was trying to bring people together. And I thought he succeeded. I don't know why people, here it is 2023, want to tear up a wound that's over 100 some years old. That doesn't affect anybody today. It doesn't affect. The only thing it affects is when you tear open a wound. So you undid what what Disney Corporation is doing today. You're undoing what your own founder did, and that was try to bring people together. That's it. That's it. There was no big secret to his success, bringing people together. I missed that about Disney. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Follow Me, Boys. Is that the movie?
I believe so. Yes. Follow Me, Boys. Yes.
He's done several Disney movies, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, Walt Disney, what he was able to do and create, give the man credit. He was up there with George Lucas.
Well,
he was up there.
In my film class, history of film class, when I was in college, they showed, because I actually, surprisingly, in college had some really good professors, and that actually, wait for it, they taught. I know, they got paid, but anyways, and we saw the whole map of the park. Like, this is what that's what Walt wanted to do. Like, his whole goal was to make money, sell merchandise. It's very smart, and Disney needs to find a brain again, especially, but it's also these monopolies. A lot of this stuff needs to be broken apart. We need more competition in this country. That's really one of the biggest problems we have. But since Disney owns this stuff, including like even Pixar, they won't let Pixar go again, because before please, here's money. At least Pixar's next film is going to be Elementals, and what would happen if Elementals mix and they shouldn't mix. And I was like, you know what? There may be some potential here. Better than that Lightyear mess nonsense movie. Just if you're supposed to be the number one studio in the world of animation, then put together great stuff. Soul was really good. Like, Disney can find a brain again, but with Star Wars and the goofiness and then with Marvel, one of my friends, he was showing me earlier Quantumania. I don't know what
Yeah.
to think of that movie. I don't know what to think of it. I really
That
don't.
movie was a
It's
mess,
all
in my
over the
opinion.
place. It's all over the place. There's some parts, that's funny. I Modoc was terrible. Like the CGI was awful on his face. Just leave the mask on and whatever. I don't know what to think of that movie. I don't know if I hate it. I don't know if I like it. I don't know what to think.
Well, like I said,
weird.
after I saw it, it didn't have that edge of your seat action that previous Marvel movies had prior to Endgame.
But
It
I didn't
didn't.
think
And
Paul
let me
Rudd
ask you
was
guys
bad in it.
this.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You know, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out on May 5th.
Yep.
That's really the only Marvel movie I'm interested in seeing because I enjoyed the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Well, I'm worried about Deadpool 3, but if Deadpool 3 can be way better than Deadpool 2, that would be nice. That kid was annoying with the whole thing.
Don't count on it.
I don't think that
I don't want to.
financially Marvel can have any more bombs that it already had in the last year or 2 years. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't see Marvel.
Those movies are not making $1 billion worldwide.
And
no.
really, I'll be honest, we talked about Disney's acquisition. Let's be honest. That acquisition for Fox should have never been allowed. They should never have been allowed to acquire Fox. And for the future, if they leave Disney the way it is now, Disney should not be able to acquire anything without going into being a monopoly.
The FCC should be smart, like they were
quick
back in
to
the
destroy Bell Telephone, and most of us probably remember Bell Telephone. Young people don't, but yeah, what happens when a company becomes too big and too powerful? You get Bell Telephone. They get broken up, and that's where your Verizon and your other
right.
companies come out.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
do think-
FTC needs to take a look at the GMA over in Europe, what they did today, and block any potential mergers between Disney or any mega corporation and another corporation that creates even more of a monopoly.
Yeah, I would say in 2023, I have never seen where the market is being controlled by so few. Especially entertainment. You look at 50 years ago, you had how many movie corporations? And now we're down to what, maybe 4 or 5 legit ones left.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
if that doesn't show you a monopolize or darn near monopolization, what does? And people say, well, if Marvel keeps going bad, maybe Disney will jettison Marvel. I don't see that happening.
I don't see them letting go of Marvel. I don't see them letting go of Star Wars.
No.
But some other people just need to come in there and says, guys, what if we brought back some things? Why don't we ask a lot of the hardcore fans that what they would like to see if they want? I can imagine they want more of a serious tone. Just ask the question: do you guys want something more like Winter Soldier, where it's more serious and there's only some jokes and there's a lot of cool action?
Look,
there's some still in these Marvel films, but.
Yeah, but the only way this is going to change, it's a board takes, pulls their balls out and slaps Iger with it, gets rid of him, and hires somebody who's not on board with all this stuff. It'll come in and clean up the company.
Agreed.
And people,
it's all on the board. Iger's not going to do it, obviously.
We have to explain what the board is. The board of directors is not your majority stockholders. Stockholders are totally representatives than board members of board directors. If you have a hierarchy, when you fill out corporation, the generic form is you have a president, you have a board, and then bottom line, your stockholders. Your stockholders have some say, but in order to make a smash with the board, you need majority of them stockholders. In Disney's case, you need George Lucas and what's the other guy now?
Doesn't Spielberg have
Spielberg.
stock in?
Yep. They're the two majority stockholders. So believe it or not, them two can have pull. But again, neither one of them are on the board of directors.
Yeah, but it was still nice a few weeks ago when you heard that shareholders meeting, and some of the shareholders got in there and started blasting Disney for what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to do it more. They're gonna have to, I mean, really hammer them.
Yeah, you just
and stop
don't
being
spend
afraid.
money. Yeah, just don't spend money. And if you do spend money on Disney, it's just it's a mess.
Well,
Again, the only
here's
way
another thing. I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask the chat. Do we not watch their movies, their shows, and play their games, and just let them get away with it, or do we watch their movies, their TV shows, play their games, and be as critical as we can be, and honest criticism about their product?
If you're gonna review it, fine. If you have to give them some money to be part of your channel, if you're gonna review these things, I don't see that big of a issue with that. But if you're not going to do it, I'm not giving them any money. I haven't watched one freaking Marvel movie since the end of Phase 4. I am giving them any money. I haven't watched any of the Star Wars stuff. I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. That's not true. I did watch some of the Mandalorian. I watched 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and that was it. I haven't watched anything else. So, but I haven't, I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. Do that what you will, but do what you have to do for your channel. But I know a lot of people don't like boycotts, but that's the only thing that they're going to eventually understand. No matter how much they want to ignore the money thing, they can't do it forever. And hitting them in the pocketbook.
And Anheuser-Busch are the prime examples of what you could say. Well, for people,
Yeah, but they didn't have the ideology.
Anheuser-Busch, you're seeing it. You're seeing.
They didn't have the ideology Disney does. Religion can take you a long way without money.
I would say if you're a consumer or a fan of Star Wars, I'm not a fan of the pick this, believe that. If you're going to make a stand, you got to make a stand. But when it comes to like evolving like YouTube, like Anama said, you got to do it if that's your channel. But if you can avoid it until you see change. And if you never see change, look, there is a lot of fan-made Star Wars out there on YouTube. There's one out there that I'll say right now. It's called Mission, and it was made in 2019, and it is the best Star Wars I've ever seen since Disney bought it. And it's free to watch. Takes 30 minutes to watch, and I guarantee if you watched it, you would love it. That's where you turn your entertainment from. If you're saying I can't deal with Disney Star Wars, go to the fan-made content. Go there. You get your Star Wars fix, and you're not giving Disney anything. There you go.
And I want to answer Steven's question here, who says, riddle me this: who are you reviewing it for? And he also goes on to say, if you're going to review it, mock it. Well, I'm going to review, and I'm not going to do a solo video review, and I'm actually going to be playing Jedi Survivor. And if you watch the live streams that are coming up, starting with Friday, I will be critical of the game when criticism needs to be pointed out. Just like I was with Gotham Knights, just like I have my criticisms with Scars Above. Gotham Knights was a buggy mess. Cash and I even tried playing it a couple of times multiplayer, and it was a buggy mess. There were parts of the game where if you're fighting enemies, all of a sudden you couldn't do anything because the game started flipping out. it's like with Scars Above. They have this ability in the game. It's called Rapid Reload. The character reloads your weapon the same as if she didn't even have the rapid reload ability.
Can we find something? I don't know.
But yeah, the also if a lot of people don't know what's coming out, they don't. A lot of people want to know what it's like. I know a lot of people. A lot of people want to, black pill Star Wars and just be done with it. But there are some people who, they don't want to hate watch it, obviously, but they want somebody else to watch it to, get their opinion that they trust, so they don't have to watch it, or they don't, they want to know what's going on. We, a lot of people want to know the 411 about this show, that show, or the whole Disney fiasco thing. Yep. But they don't want to go to spend their money on the movie to watch it, or the show, or give them money on Disney Plus to watch the show. They just don't want to do that. But they want to watch you guys or us or whatever, whoever's doing it, giving them the skinny on it, and that's fine. And if you have to pay for that, most people don't. I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't pay money for a lot of this stuff. Go for it. They're not getting, if you're turning off a giant portion of their customer base because of what the review you did, then so be it. That just only helps our side.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid to be critical. Again, I will bring up the problems with the controls in Scars Above, because there are some problems. I'm still enjoying playing the game. Don't get me wrong. But there are things that they need to fix. Just like, remember after that 40 gigabyte patch update for Gotham Knights Cash, you and I tried it right after we both downloaded it, and the game was still a mess.
Yes.
You know what I find ironic is that they're still trying to charge $59 on Steam for Gotham Knights that's been out how long now?
It's been out since October.
Yeah, and they're still
Cash and I were able to pick it up on sale around Christmas time.
I would do the sale, but I'm still surprised. For normally 6 months into a game, the price goes down to like $30. But for some reason, Gotham Knights, they still want that $59. Just
it's
wait.
Not worth it.
No, wait till Memorial Day. Wait till what is it, Black Friday? You can probably snag it again for probably $9 or $19. The only I would tell you, for me, the first game that I bought in a long time at the given price was Hogwarts. And
yeah, Hogwarts is worth buying at full price. But heck, a game that you all know I love, even though I did die a lot in the game, I still had a lot of fun playing it. Evil Wished.
Mm-hmm. But your dying made us was entertainment to us, But video games, Star Wars, the low length laptop, or what he had posted up there. He's playing what was it? Commando. I have nothing to say that is negative about playing the old Star Wars games.
Oh no,
they hold the test of time. And you can see a difference between their games and besides, let's be honest, the last what was the other game before this one that's coming out?
It was Jedi Fallen Order.
Before that, Disney really didn't have anything for Star Wars, really. And I don't count the Lego. I'm sorry, I don't count the Lego.
No.
Legos are for
take care, Gap.
It's still pretty cool.
It's a different genre.
But you see the difference. You see the difference between LucasArts and their video games, and how much they gave us. And look at the desert. That's Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, look at the games that were done under LucasArts and all the heart and soul that was put into each game that they released. Some are great. Some not so much, but still, like low spec, I can go back and play Dark Forces. I still have Dark Forces, my PS1 copy.
Jedi
I could,
Academy. Good lord.
yeah. Heck, I know some people like it, some people don't, but Star Wars Pod Racer.
You know, and I'll say this: I don't care what they call it. Forever in the day, when I see Boba Fett's ship, or AKA Django's old ship, it will always be Slave One.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it refers to. That's what it is. I don't get why they have to call it my fire spray. The actor that played Boba Fett and Jango Fett,
Yeah, Tamara Morrison.
he had to get tongue tied over it, you know. And you saw how he's been feeling lately, and I do not blame him one iota.
He's so upset he can't even make a coherent sentence.
But yeah, I mean, if that's the way you're going to treat an actor, and let's be honest, he doesn't just play it, he played every clone because he was every clone. and that's the way you're going to treat him. You know, it'd be like I will compare it to today to people wishing for the original lineup to Kiss to get back together before the final show. And as an original Kiss fan, I hope to God the other two don't do it. For the amount of bashing them two get, why are you going to try to help out two other people that hate your guts? And if I was these actors, I would tell Disney, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm off to better things. Leave it alone. You had your time, you're remembering the sun, and now walk away from it. Because they ain't going to respect Mark Hamill. They're not going to respect anybody from that or group of people. I'm surprised they even tried to bring back the actor. Not that it was his fault. Look, nobody hated the actor that played Jar Jar. We hated the character Jar Jar. Let's get that right. It didn't have anything to do about race or the actor. It had everything to do about his character.
Yep.
That's it. Simple. And George Lucas is to blame for it. And we all acknowledge that he's at fault. But to try to use
even George recognized that Jar Jar was a mistake. That's why his role was reduced.
Yeah, I like I said, I understood why they tried to create Jar Jar because it was George's way of, oh, I can get this for the kids. But it was a bad idea. Bad idea. So, yeah. And then cause haters because we hated Obi-Wan and they tried to use, not us, Disney tried to say we were haters or racists because we didn't like that character. Okay.
But after reading this article, it just makes you sad. It makes you angry. It just really infuriates you as to how they are viewing Star Wars and characters like Luke.
Yeah, there's zero respect for the OG. Zero.
I mean, they did it to their own. They went out of the way to get Gina Carano. And I'm sorry, Pablo Hidalgo and what's the other guy that played the voice actor, sometimes the face of Mando? What's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
And they did everything, and you saw the little picture he drew up about losers. Okay?
Yeah, and then he pulled
After
that tweet
the show,
he was never fired.
Do a YouTube search and type in, they're both from Chile. Chilean military march, and they talk about the bad people, and you see them even today in their military, they still goose step. Not even the German army goose steps anymore, but they're still goose stepping. So before you throw a stone here at our history like he did and people, look at your own before you throw a stone. But they they practically didn't even say anything to him. The only thing they told, well, not Pablo Hidalgo, but the other one. Sorry, can't think of his name. The other one, they just
Pedro
told
Pascal.
him, take it down. Take it down. They didn't do that to Gina, so they have a double standard.
Of course they do. They've been showing their double standard.
So, and I'm sorry, don't mean to ramble, but it has to be thrown out there because when you talk Disney, this is what happens. That all this should not be in our entertainment. It should be totally neutral, putting out quality shows, putting out things that, you know what, doesn't lean left or right. You're just doing for the everyday children and family. You don't have to make you should be this or you have to do that or this. I don't understand why they're out to program people.
Hello, Stephen. No, I was just listening to you guys talk, but no, Disney wants to double down on politics. They shouldn't. The problem is that it's not the best decision for business or for your consumers because people think all different ways about politics. So why would you try to pander to one group of people and not the other, and make other people feel like crap because of the way they feel? It's really stupid. But Disney, you can hope with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that Disney will find that'll do very well for Disney, but we just don't know.
We don't.
Yeah,
we don't
it all
know.
depends on how much influence they had over Gunn when he made it.
Right.
If Gunn had full control, and he had very little interference from Feige or whatever, then you can have hope that it's probably going to be a decent movie. But we don't know. We don't know behind the scenes. We don't know if he had mandates to do this, that, or the other. So you won't know until somebody watches it and lets you know. So, good luck with that.
Yep.
And I already told my sister I'm gonna go see it, and I'm gonna be honest. I like 65. Some people don't like 65. Cocaine Bear was what it was. I wasn't expecting much. Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania or Quantum of Solace, whatever you want to call that piece of trash movie, was exactly that, a piece of trash.
Marvel released in the last couple years, the last two, some of the biggest list of bombs. I can't think of one of their movies that actually was a hit. Maybe there was one. I don't think there was. Was there actually one that was a hit in the last 2 years?
Marvel?
Last few years.
Not that I can think of,
Marvel,
especially with the coof and everything. And you had movies that were originally scheduled for release in theaters that actually premiered on Disney Plus that they charged $30 for.
Ridiculous. But I don't think Marvel can survive another 3 bombs. And I will tell you this, if Star Wars goes back to the big screen and that movie, the very first movie, whatever they put out, it bombs, I don't think they can have any hope of recovering.
Well, speaking of the next Star Wars movies, I saw an article today saying that Daisy Ridley is going to be
in charge. They couldn't bring it back.
Yeah, but I didn't even see an article today that was suggesting, and I don't know if it's rumor, I don't know if it's fact, but it was suggesting that Daisy Ridley's not even going to be the main focal point of this next movie. She's going to be a secondary character. So what's the point of going back if you're going to be a secondary character? Besides the money.
That's probably the only reason she is going back. I liked her as an actress. I do not blame her or any of the actors that were in the sequel trilogy. I do not blame them for what happened. They're actors. What the script handed to them was what they acted upon. Me, I blame the directors. 2 of them was JJ. And we won't even give the guy the second one and the honor of even saying his name, and Kathleen Kennedy. But like I said, if the next movie bombs, I don't see Star Wars coming back, even if they try to make everything right. I think it'll be too far gone. For new people that watch Star Wars, I heard this story, people say, well, this is their Star Wars. This is what they know. If they want damaged goods, be my guest. A broken bridge is a broken bridge, no matter how you paint it or how you try to drive over it. It's a broken bridge, and that's how I feel about it. If I could be wrong, the next movie could be a super hit, blockbuster, but I don't think so. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you've all made great, valid points. And I think Star Wars is dead. I really do. Star Wars as we know it is dead. Yes, we can still go back and watch the original 6 movies, but that's all we have left is the original 6 movies and the EU.
But you know, I mean, I don't want to take away from people, and they heard that Favreau and Filoni. Just remember when it came to Filoni, and bear in mind on this, Filoni was not George Lucas's first choice. His first choice was the guy who created Samurai Jack. I can't say his Russian name, but
Tartakovsky.
Yes, and it was George Lucas wanted him. That's who he wanted in the spot that Filoni ended up getting. And it was him that told George, look, I'm not interested in joining Lucasfilm or anything, but I'll tell you what, there's this great guy. He's working, I forget what he was working on at the time. I think it was the Earthbender thingamajiggy.
I think it was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, and he said, you should try getting him. So Filoni owns George, not George Lucas, but the other George. A big thank you. And that's, like I said, where would we be today if he was the one that took that spot and accepted the position as opposed to saying, no, get this guy. You know? And people say there's nothing wrong with the original 2 Clone War 2D movies. I actually love it. I loved it more than when it came as the Clone Wars. The what do you want to call it? The CGI version.
Yeah, the regular TV series.
But the 2D movies, they were pretty great. I liked it.
And I got to be honest, I thought Clone Wars got better in season 3.
Yeah, when they turned, and it happens with a lot of characters, when they turned Ahsoka down, instead of her being the annoying little teenager, you know.
Yep. So, any other thoughts that you guys might have before we wrap up this edition of Pop Talk?
No,
just take heart. I mean, I know it's a major disappointment to never get good Star Wars again. And never say never. You never know what the future holds, but Star Wars was one of the greatest things that's ever been made. And it's still great. There's no denying that. It filled our childhoods just full of freaking magic and wonder and excitement, and that thing that could be good for future generations also. If all of us in the realm of the OG Star Wars, just when you have kids, just show them that first. Don't show them any of the other new stuff until later on, but just start them off with the originals. And that's what I did with my kid. That's what I did. I even did that with my wife's little cousin, and they freaking loved it. It transcends, and we'll always have that. And they can't take that away. Physical media, boys and girls, physical media. And yes, it sucks we're not going to get anything new, but we do have the greatest, and it ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
100% agree. But I will also throw in fan-made content. We have one of our own with
fan-made, maybe even getting better. I mean, we're just starting out this new create your own content crap. Fan-made stuff's been around for a little while, but it's been hit or miss at best.
You have to look at Crit stuff. Crit's fan-made Star
I'm gonna go ahead
Wars.
and put Crit's
It's
link
great.
into the chat.
It's great. Another one is, like I said, there's a short movie. It's about 30 minutes long. You can go watch it. It's a fan made movie, and you'll be surprised at what a budget of maybe 50,000 American dollars can do compared to the billions that Disney's turned into Star Wars. And you would look at that
Nowadays,
movie
yeah.
and you will say, wow. It's called
The only
Mission. That's all you had to do. Star Wars
Yeah.
Mission from 2019. It won an award for fan made movie.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the link to Lord Crit of Everest Productions channel. Go
His
watch
Star
his
Wars
revisited
content is one
and
of the best.
reimagined series. You're gonna absolutely love it. The effort that he puts into it, you know.
Yep.
He
And like I said,
is
I'm not trying to be a plug here, but I have to throw it out there because this is where you can find. You want Star Wars as a fix. You need Star Wars, and Disney is not giving to you what you want. This content there, especially Crits, this is your Star Wars, and
Crit's
might
a
be the
passionate
future.
fan.
You know, it might be
He
the
is
future.
the future of Star Wars. Fans like him who actually care about the lore, actually care about the characters, and care about giving you a good, cohesive story. It's fans like Crit that'll keep Star Wars alive.
Yep. Totally 100% agree.
Yeah. The only problem, I don't know about I haven't seen is that stuff, but I'll look at it. Fan made stuff is lacking in certain areas, but I'm as far as we go into the future, and stuff gets cheaper, you can do stuff on a budget, practical effects, even digital stuff that you can do at home now. People can do with these programs is freaking amazing. The only thing that they really lack is script and acting. If they can cross those hurdles, because I've seen a lot of like fan made stuff that just was kind of cringy, and if they can cross those hurdles, then they can make all kinds of really cool crap and entertain a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Cash, you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, I think we've covered it. With Disney, we can go in circles till our head explodes. They just need to find more of a brain again on. You have all this property, you have all these billions of dollars. Just do better. Again.
You've got to do better.
Come on.
Do better, Senator. To quote Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's right.
All right, so Anonymous, what do you have coming up on your channel, brother?
I just finished my Nefarious movie review. It's up today. I had one edit and then I had to go back and re-edit because I left a little clip in that wasn't supposed to be there and it kind of screwed it up. So I had to unlist it and re-upload it again. So just, go watch that. Nefarious was a pretty good movie. Just the short of it, it was very good and for a Christian movie anyway. And, the dialogue and the acting was really top notch. So, it's worth a watch. Go watch my video, follow me on Twitter, and I'm also uploading my crap to Rumble. So it's there too. If you don't want to watch YouTube videos, like you watch a Rumble video. And, yeah.
And I just posted the link to your new video into the chat for anybody who wants to check it out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anything else going on? Are you going to be your Gryffindor self and show that you are from the best house at Hogwarts?
Yes. This weekend, I'm hoping to get some streaming in. I didn't get to do it Sunday. Had too much going on after the stream and stuff. And Chris was already doing it. So I just I'll just do it again. During the week, streaming that stuff is hard. So I generally don't get to do it. But on the weekend, hopefully I can get a couple good streams in. Hogwarts Legacy. If you want to come hang out and watch me make fun of whatever's on there. So I tend to do that, but you can all make fun of me. Make fun of me. I play games and I die a lot, so Phil's there sometimes.
I'll be there because I like to stalk you.
Yeah, I know you do, you weirdo.
You can't stream without me knowing.
Wait. You said you like to die a lot?
I
You and I are
like-
part of
I don't like to
part of
die
the
a lot,
club.
but I do sometimes. I do die a lot.
But we're part of the club, and since Barrett's not here, I'm going to go ahead and plug the sister of 1-800-555-NOOB, 1-800-555-DEAD. That's 1-800-555-DEAD. If you want to see guys die in games a lot, just watch Anonymous or myself, and you'll see us die in games.
That's right. We're good at it.
Yes.
We die very well.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
Maybe I'll set it to easy mode.
What?
Oh, whoa.
You just made Cash Money have a heart attack.
I'm sure he ain't coming back on. He's dead.
My friends, if you or someone you know
What in the hell?
decides that they're going to change the difficulty level in a game to easy mode, or they start playing a game on easy mode, please call this number on your screen right now. 1-800-555-NOOB. That's 1-800-555-NOOB. Let our professionals get you or your loved one the help they need to play on a higher difficulty level. Or just have them call 1-800-555-DEAD, because that's what they'll be.
Oh, Lordy.
There is no easy mode on this channel.
Well, I don't think there's an easy mode in Hogwarts, so it's all right.
No. You know what it is, Anonymous?
Mm-hmm.
We are of a different breed, and we're like this every time we play a game.
I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
That's right. I don't care how many times I die. I'm a glutton for punishment, and I will keep going.
I love that Star Trek 5 reference. It brings a tear to my eye.
Hey, Crit, you better calm down, buddy.
And speaking of Crit, he must have heard that we were promoting his channel, even though he's not here. We were recommending your Star Wars content over on Everest Productions.
Ah, I see the
for
King
people
Rat
to
has
go
joined
watch.
us. Yes,
The King
Rats.
Rat.
Yes.
Somebody blow the piper or toot the flute. Toot the. I cracked myself up.
So, Phil, what do you have coming up on Release McCracken?
Well, on the 4th of May, I am going to put the Phantom Hooligans back together. I'm going to have Matt Risman, Coach, and Nick on a live stream and being co-hosted by Pacific and, of course, Cash Money. And we're going to have a good hour-long talk to discuss RBN/EBN. So, yes, that's what's coming up next. And probably 2 weeks after that, I'm in a process of coming up with a review. It's going to be 3-parters of Kiss, the rock band, and their entire catalog, which is quite huge. So that'll be me and Paul, the Star Wars / everything else guys. Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
So.
And Crit saying that he's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, we'll tell you guys later about the Rat Pack joke, but anyways.
Croon me, Crit. Sing me a song.
Croon me at the Sands in Vegas. Oh, wait a minute. It's not there anymore.
Right. Oh, no.
All right. Cash, what do you have coming up on the Phantom Hooligans?
Well, Saturday, let's see, what is this today? Wednesday. We're going to play Hades before Saturday, but Saturday, Mike and I just gonna pick a time. It'll be earlier. I have some work Saturday, but after that, that'll be early in the morning. But we'll probably, I'm thinking afternoon or evening, whatever, Mike, whatever works best for you. And then we're gonna play Bro Force.
Wait a minute.
Bro
I
Force.
introduced you wrong. You're Bro Money 007.
That's
Not
right.
Bro
Bro
Civic
Money.
414.
Bro
We've got
Money
Bro McCracken
007, and
and
we got Bro
Anano
McCracken.
Bro.
Anano Bro. I like that. Yeah,
Anano Bro.
Bro
but,
Force.
yes, and so Brandon
Bro
might be
Nanomos.
Brandon might
Okay.
be joining us.
Anonymous.
Brand
Anonymous.
Bro,
Do, 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 do.
Brandon Bro or whatever, maybe joining us.
It's Brandon the Broname guy.
Oh, Brandon the Bromate guy. Okay. And then Paul has the game, which I really find funny because I didn't see Paul ever wanting to play a game like that. And I was like, that kind of threw me.
I always wonder why Anonymous never hums his own theme song.
Do, 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 do.
Do, do, do,
The
do,
principal.
do, do, do.
Principal.
I
The
bet he
game,
got that as a ringtone.
the game before that, I'm still also messing around with Deus Ex, and I was doing some stuff offline, and I'm probably going to play that again online. But definitely Hades is finally going to start on the Phantom Hooligans this week. But the Broforce thing will definitely be Saturday. Is Saturday going to be good for you, Mike?
Yeah, that's fine with me, bro.
All right, bro.
We can Rambo it.
No, bro. You know how that's going to go. So we'll see how far we get. That'll be fun. I found that game for a cheap price, because usually it runs about what, 14 or something like that. I don't know.
I'll tell you about a great game you can get for $5 on Steam
Oh,
after
boy.
we get off the.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not what
I have a
think
bad
it is.
feeling. Bad feeling.
Why? Why do you
I have a
always?
bad
Why?
feeling,
Why?
man.
Why do you guys always have these negative waves? I
Is it-
don't understand.
Bill,
Is it
yeah,
Caddyshack 2 the game?
Exactly. Seriously.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack to the game.
No, this game makes Caddyshack 2 look like a beautiful movie.
Okay.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's coming up, and then of course, was it Wednesday? So this week, so Hades is going to start, and then I think I'm still going to play Deus Ex at some point, but definitely on Saturday we will play Broforce together, so it'll be good.
Very nice.
So
very
that's
nice.
yeah.
And as far as PACIFIC414 is concerned, well, Friday I will be streaming Jedi Survivor. And then, of course, Saturday, as you've heard, you can catch me over on Phantom Hooligans with Cash and Brandon, the anime guy, and Master Paul of the Star Wars. Everything
Yeah,
else,
hopefully
guys.
Brandon will still show up. I'll talk to him again, but I'm guessing Paul will definitely be there.
And we'll be playing Broforce. And then Sunday will be a special edition of the Sunday edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. And for all fans of this particular franchise, please forgive me if I butcher this, but it's morphin' time! That's right. With it being the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, we will be having a special stream celebrating not just the Power Rangers franchise as a whole, but we'll also be talking about Power Rangers once and always. I have a few guests lined up. I'm going to double check with them tomorrow to make sure they're still good to go as far as appearing on Sunday's show at 1 p.m. Eastern, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I do have some knowledge when it comes to Power Rangers. After all, I used to watch it here and there when I was in high school. Why? Because it was a fun show to watch, seeing giant robots. I didn't care. It reminded me of Godzilla. That's why I watched it, but that is what's coming up. Of course, there's going to be more Scars Above, and I will also begin Rise of the Tomb Raider sometime next week, if not the week after. So that's what's coming up on the channel. And before we leave you here tonight, I do want to say thank you to those of you who were in the chat, starting with Orca Boy himself. Yes. Everest Productions. Yes, Lord Crit of Everest Productions wearing his top hat. He's got his cane, his monocle, and he is swimming around the ocean because he knows he's better than everyone else. Yes. Yes. And then we had Rocco the Brave. Thank you, Rocco, for being here. And of course, we had Stephen Ransom here as well. We had Kitty Bear here. There was a Whoopa Troopa sighting. Whoopa, whoopa. I know I don't do it as good as Baron. And of course, we had Low Spec Linux Laptop here. And we had Decepticons Cave of Comic and Toys here. And you all know him. He goes by many different names. Pit Viper, Chaos, TKO. I've told him many times, pick a name, stick with it. But Pit Viper was here. And of course, my guest for this evening, Phil McCracken.
I was here because Anonymous showed up.
See?
Anonymous brings in the people.
That's
Can I say?
We also had Gap After Dark and No Gap. Neither one of my guests were late today. They let me know their situations, and I'm glad Phil was able to come on. I'm glad Anonymous was able to come on. So I appreciate it.
I was glad to, because unfortunately, when you started, I was in the process of fixing and then eating dinner. So as soon as I got done, I came on here, and then to add to my dessert, Anonymous was here.
Oh, I ate my dinner on stream, Phil. You just need to man up.
Did you get my messages? You know, you've been ignoring my messages lately.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Here I thought Gap and Cash had love problems, and now Anonymous and Phil are having problems.
He refuses my.
It's getting weird.
Yeah, it is. He refuses
to
answer my DMs. What is
Phil's a problem, but he ain't a love problem. I'll tell you that.
No, it ain't about love. It's a broness, but he don't want to be my bro. But I'm determined to make Anonymous my bro, my homie.
Yeah.
Thank you for the thumbs up in Discord.
You're welcome.
I'm touched. I'm getting emotional.
Uh-oh, Phil's getting verklempt.
Somebody call a therapist.
You know that 1 inch heart that you say I had, Mike? It's now grown to 2 inches. Thank you, Anonymous.
Oh my gosh.
This is the closest one that's appropriate to play for that, Phil.
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
The things I do for you people.
Wait, that's Cash's line. You people, these people.
You
what do you mean, you people?
Weirdos like Phil. That's what I mean by you people.
What do you mean by that? I thought I was special. That's totally different.
Oh, you're special. You are special.
Right.
I'll accept special. Special is good.
All right.
That's kind of special. The short bus.
Well. I guess I got to play another clip. I know I have been slacking on the clips tonight.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
But I do want to thank everybody for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe to Cash, Bill, and Anonymous. And until Friday, this has been Mike for PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. Just want to let you all know I'm not only a baseball guy, but I'm an all-around guy. Take care, everyone.
Bye. This has been a test of the emergency Hypnotoad system. Had this been an actual hypnosis, you would go limp and watch whatever crap comes on next.
Pop Talk's where it's at, baby.
Is it safe, Neil? Is it safe?
Oh my God! Who the hell cares? I know, Baron. You're probably going. Why are you playing the clips, Mike? Because I'm lazy.